Radio Biafra is proudly launched its new mobile app. This app makes it easier for listeners to access live and repeat broadcasts at any given time. The app is available on Android and Apple Store and is free to install. Just search for Radio Biafra in all one word to get the app on your device. Radio Biafra International broadcasts are always accurate with well-researched information and not based on personalities, frivolities, and shallows. The main objective of Radio Biafra International is to empower Biafrans and give them knowledge through professionally delivered information, education, and enlightenment towards ultimate restoration of the nation of Biafra. So don't forget, Radio Biafra in all one word. And join us during our podcast, and you'll be glad to do.
Stop spending time with the wrong people. Life is too short to spend time with people who suck the happiness out of you. If someone wants you in their life, they'll make room for you. You shouldn't have to fight for a spot. Never ever insist yourself to someone who continuously overlooks your worth. And remember, it's not the people that stand by your side when you're at your best, but the ones who stand beside you when you're at your worst that are your true friends. Stop trying to be someone you're not. One of the greatest challenges in life is being yourself in a world that's trying to make you like everyone else. Someone will always be prettier. Someone will always be smarter. Someone will always be younger. But they will never be you. Don't change so people will like you. Be yourself, and the right people will love the real you. Stop trying to hold on to the past. You cannot start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Stop being scared to make a mistake. Doing something and getting it wrong is at least 10 times more productive than doing nothing. Every success relationships must be chosen wisely. It is better to be alone than to be in bad company. There's no need to rush. If something is meant to be, it will happen at the right time, with the right person, and for the best reason. Stop rejecting new relationships just because old ones didn't work. In life, you realize that there's a purpose for everyone you meet. Some will test you, some will use you, and some will teach you. But most importantly, some will bring out the best in you. Stop trying to compensate against things that are not there. And stop trying to compete against everyone else. Don't worry about what others are doing better than you. Concentrate on beating your own records every day. Success is a battle between you and yourself only. I just have to repeat this words. They repeat. Stop trying to compete against everyone else. Don't worry about what others are doing better than you. Concentrate on beating your own records every day. Success is a battle between you and yourself only. Life is too short to spend time with people who suck the happiness out of you. If someone wants you in their life, they'll make room for you. You shouldn't have to fight for a spot. Never, ever insist yourself to someone who continuously overlooks your worth. And remember, it's not the people that stand by your side when you are at your best, but the ones who stand beside you when you are at your worst, that are your true friends.
Odi, take over. Odi, take over. Odi, take over.
Good morning, listeners from all over the world. This is Radio Biafra International, broadcasting to you. Listeners from all over the world, this is Radio Biafra International, broadcasting to you. We inform, educate, persuade towards like I said, pertinent and relevant issues of our lives and times. But before we do that, we are going to pray. We are Israel. We will pray, and what we do is pray. If you go to Israel today, you see people praying everywhere. It's known for prayer. And that name has been able to affect the world like no other. Through that nation, God that created heaven and earth has brought the best value system ever known on earth today. Civilization, the light comes from there. That's through Judaism and Christianity. That is why if you look at their value system, it's not that of killing, lying, killing, and terrorism and all those kinds of things. You see that it is the light to bring peace to humanity, to bring the grace of God to humanity. That is what is important. Okay, so we will say a prayer or two. Let us pray. O Lord our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, we thank you for this day, and we lift up your name, we exalt your name. There is none like thee. Because Abraham sought you with all his heart, and he found you, so do you want all men to do. So that when Abraham sought you, he was not a Jew. He was not of any denomination, church or synagogue or anything. He just sought you with his heart. And this is what you want all men to do, all men. Father, may we walk on that path of righteousness. We, Radio Biafra, as we bring messages of encouragement to our people, we pray, O Lord, that you grant us justice, you grant us your peace within our circumstance. May we, O Lord, be delivered from the wicked.
by the power of your right hand, by your outstretched arm, deliver our people. May we depend on you. May we trust in you in all that we do. I remember all those suffered so much in Nigeria because of the oppression and wickedness in that place, because of foreign hatred for peoples of Africa who have gone through slavery and colonization. Father, Nigeria had become created as an instrument of destruction for your people. But though they come one way, they will scatter 7 ways. Defeat, O Lord, those who stand up for evil. Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. As we broadcast, O Lord God, put in us the words, the meditations of our hearts and the words of our mouth. May it be acceptable unto thee, O Lord God Almighty. And may our people find freedom in your mercy. May Nigeria be defeated. The Islamic jihadists be soundly defeated because of the evil in that religion. The evil that it brings to destroy humanity will never succeed. There is no salvation in Muhammad. The salvation is in Yeshua HaMashiach, as has been proven both even through reason and through power, which you have exhibited and still doing all through the world. So in thee, O Lord, do we put our trust. Let us never be put to confusion and shame. Be thou exalted. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray. Amen. It is the fear of God, not of men, that must govern a Biafran heart. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. I'll repeat that again. It is the fear of God, not of men, that must govern a Biafran heart. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. And with that, I must also say again that our peoples are entitled to their inherent inalienable rights to self-determination and dignity of their persons in accordance with Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human and People's Rights of 1948, Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Article 1 of the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, and the International Convention on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. This is what we're entitled to. There is what is called fundamental human rights. The rights that belong to human beings. Even animals have rights, other animals. How much more human beings? So, Biafrans, I want you to remember that always. And when we will stand on that to move forward, stand on the word of God and stand on those rights. Because for those who don't understand why we are linking the word of God to that, let me explain that a little bit in probably like 5 minutes. You see, what you call human rights now and democracy and so on and so forth, which the West practices, because they've practiced the best value system, political, economic value system so far on earth. It's obvious, yes. And why did they adopt it? Did they adopt it? It came, the source and the root source of those is in the value system set in that their societies of different nations of the world through the Judeo-Christian belief system, which is the Bible. So that is the light of the world. I want you to understand that. So that what you're doing when we're talking about human rights, it is not unconnected to the Bible. That is why, and this is what we believe in. Remember, we believe in God, the God of Israel. But the God of Israel will be your God too. if you make him to be. Doesn't mean that Israel is simply, you become Israel when you accept God in spirit and truth. Not you accept a man who was an armed robber robbing caravans in the 8th century called Muhammad ibn Abdullah, a man who was married a 6-year-old girl, slaughtered people, 465 wars. You don't do that when you simply subscribe to a religion that holds you out of fear. It uses fear to hold you and tells you that if you change your mind, you'll be killed. You know that the God that created heaven and earth does not believe in that. You can make your choice. It's the consequence of your choice that you cannot make. But your choice is there as a human being. And we can see human beings doing things out of choice, isn't it? Yeah. But the consequence now belongs to the maker. So it is important that we understand what we are saying when we are saying certain things. And we go straight to the news today. 35 for unidentified corpses dumped in FMC Owerri. Residents of Southeast cry out, we're bleeding, hiding, living in fear. This is Chid in Kwara States. Steve Oko and Chinonso Alozie. The southeast part of the country is bleeding. The east has not recorded such killings since the Civil War ended in 1970. Residents are picked up from the comfort of their homes and killed, while scores of unidentified corpses are dumped daily in the mortuaries. See that? As indiscriminate arrests of innocent citizens are going on. Remember, indiscriminate arrests, you don't know who usually does arrests. This is Nigerian military and police. As indiscriminate arrests of innocent citizens are going on, the residents are living in fear and families of the victims are crying for justice. It is a tale of sorrow, tears, and blood in the region. In Abia, a widow, Edith Amadi, 46, narrated how her son, Onyebuchi Anthony Amadi, 27, and nephew, Obinna Onyebuchi Egeku, 30, were allegedly killed by security personnel in the aftermath of the attack on the state CID by unknown gunmen. A widow who hails from Oforala in the Owerri West local government area of Imo State lost her husband in 2009. Accusing the Nigerian army of murdering her son and others in cold blood, she said her son, nephew, and another boy, simply identified as Onye photographer, were arrested in their family house at Ugunchara, Umuahi, hours after the attack. You see what is going on? Yes. The widow, said her son and other victims whisked away from their family house were not members of the gang of the unknown gunmen that allegedly attacked the police station and wanted the justification in the extrajudicial killing. A special report from the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, signed by Emekuma Balasi, Chingo Meche, and Chidimma Udebunam, said the rights group was in possession of graphic details of how soldiers, police, and other Nigerian security operatives presently deployed in the East abducted innocent citizens and allegedly killed them. According to the report, these have led to not less than 170 open killings, secret abduction and permanent disappearance, or feared unlawful execution in custody of no fewer than 450, and general arrests and abduction of not less than 2,100. The arrested, abducted are presently held in different open and secret dungeons located within and outside the East, and among those outside the East are Makurdi prisons in Benue State, where over 300 were recently found to have been transferred and kept. Others are conventional and unconventional military, police, and South and SSS detention facilities in Abuja, Niger State, and other undisclosed locations in the north. So you see, they take them to the north as well, where they kill them. There are also in Owerri, Oka, Port Harcourt, and Abakaliki state CIDs and prison or correctional facilities such as Owerri prisons holding over 130, including 107 remanded days ago. Shockingly, in the past 1 week of Monday 24th to Sunday 30th May 2021, not less than 30 open and secret killings by soldiers and police have taken place, with most taking place in Imo State, where scores of corpses have been freshly traced to the mortuaries of the government medical centers. The slain are all victims of extrajudicial killings, including innocent citizens killed after the act at crime scenes and falsely labeled for gallantry. The findings above cover the first 5 months of 2021, or January to May 2021. Inter-Society had investigated and found as follows. The soldiers, police, and other security operatives have since January 2021 openly shot and killed over 170 persons in the 2 regions. Out of the number, at least 145 are innocent citizens or victims of extrajudicial killings, while 25 others are combatively involved. That the named security agencies have abducted over 2,100 and falsely labeled over 90% of them ESN hoodlums / terrorists, including over 300 dumped recently in faraway Makurdi prisons in Benue State. Over 70 dumped at Oka State CID, and over 107 others recently remanded in Owerri prisons after mobile courts, mumbo jumbo arrangement. Soldiers accounted for most of the abductions and disappearances, including not less than 450 citizens who disappeared since January 2021, or suspected victims of unlawful executions. Over 90% of these paraded by soldiers and police as ESN hoodlums and terrorists are innocent. And same goes for over 90% of slain bodies tagged ESN hoodlums killed in gun duel with security forces. They are victims of after the act crime scene shootings and killings. However, they added, the 6 innocent citizens of Imo State wrongly arrested and falsely labeled by the Imo State Command have been released. 5 of the 6 regained their freedom late night of yesterday, 3rd June 2021, from Imo State CID headquarters and the Owerri Correctional Headquarters of prisons. The 5 newly freed innocent citizens are Smith Amandikwa, Kasmir Ubo, Ojukwu Ukonu, Emeka Mbonu, and Engineer Ikechukwu Okoma. They were wrongly arrested on 12th, 13th, 14th, 19th, and 19th May 2021, respectively, and publicly paraded on 28th May 2021, and falsely labeled ESN hoodlums that attacked Imo State Correctional Prisons headquarters and others. Also reacting to the spate of insecurity in the region, the Catholic Archbishop of Owerri, Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Anthony J.V. Obinna, lamented the careless and stealthy dumping of no fewer than 35 unidentified corpses in the Federal Medical Center, Morgue, Owerri, within a few days. The cleric equally expressed worry that 106 young men arrested from various locations for allegedly treasonable felony are languishing in Owerri Correctional Facility. In a statement titled, "Stop the Killings, Convoke a Ceasefire Meeting, Save Imo State," a charge to Governor Hope Uzodimma and all stakeholders, Archbishop Obinna said, last year exactly about this time, I charged Governor Hope Uzodimma and other Igbo leaders to protect our people and defend our land. That charge was provoked by threats and acts of invasion on our farmland by Fulani herdsmen. Now our very lives are at stake as killings of Imo people are taking place in broad daylight at night by both officially and unofficially armed men. Imo people are on the run from known and unknown gunmen. There is scare in the air and anxiety on the ground. Imo people are hiding, living in fear. Reports of indiscriminate arrests for no clear reason and killings as a show of power or in alleged retaliation continue to spread. On Wednesday, May 26, 2021, I personally went to the Federal Correctional Center where to see the 106 young men arrested from various locations, accused and charged to court jointly for planning to commit felony. They are yet to be released. Yet to be released. As I painfully surveyed 35 corpses, stark naked on the bare floor, stealthily dumped there within the last few days, victims of runaway killers, military, police, and unknown gunmen with no identification on them, I thought of many others who had been kidnapped, taken to unknown locations, killed, and even butchered, as we continue to hear. Imo is bleeding. On behalf of the already killed and even more on behalf of the living, now threatened daily with brutal death, I charge Governor Hope Uzodimma as the Chief Security Officer for Imo people to step up and stop the killings by whoever is responsible for them. I equally charge all users and abusers of guns and deadly weapons to stop the killings, to renounce violence, and to denounce any show of pride in killing fellow human beings. I urge the governor to convoke a ceasefire meeting of all Imo stakeholders, no matter their disposition, on leaning for a concerted approach to quench the bloody fire already ravaging Imo people and destroying Imo state. Save Imo people, save Imo state. I will comment a little bit on this, and then I'll bring in the next 5 minutes my brother Chuksi Kedigwe to comment on this. You see, the problem that the Biafrans have with the Nigerian state has been there. And the killing of our people started since 1945 and it's been persistent. The peak of it was during the Civil War between 66 to 70. Now we have to die in millions. And you know the people who were doing the killings in 1966 in particular. 1945, it was the people, usually Fulani people, you know, whom the British will instigate to, because in 1945, we are still under colonial rule. So the British will instigate them to attack the Igbo. We had that 1945 in Jos, 1953 in Kanu. Then by 1966, it kicked off. And 1966 one, which was the zenith of it all, of genocide and atrocities committed against our people by the Nigerian government, was led by the Fulani always, who have been instigating all this. And what happened? The government, the military itself, the military were the people that started, because after the coup, they began to kill people of Eastern origin, Southeastern origin, in the military, you know, and police and the armed forces. They began to massacre them everywhere. People who had nothing to do with the coup. And it shows you how they assess things. And after that, they made the people join them. This is the people who were glad to join them. You know, this is Fulani, you know. They kind of intimidate other people and then get them to join them to do stuff. You see, they are masters of intimidation. You know, you give it to them, because if they were not, how could they have done all what they have done in Nigeria? How could they have intimidated the Hausa and got them, to, subjugated? How did they subjugate all these ethnic groups? No, Hausa is just the main one. We mentioned Hausa. There are hundreds of them in the north that they have succeeded in intimidating. How did they succeed in intimidating the West? Now they want to intimidate the East. The East is resisting. That's a problem. So they first of all, when there is resistance, you see, this is their psychology. When there is resistance, they seek the head. When they seek the person who is leading the resistance, they will eliminate him. When they eliminate the leader, then the people out of fear are subdued under them. That is their game plan. You see them doing it. That's how did the Fulani subdue Nigeria? Because I look at Nigeria. Nigeria is subdued by the Fulani people. How did they do that? It is through this elimination, killing. Then everybody else is afraid of them. And then because before you know it, everybody is subdued. They seize the military. The British give them the military to seize. So they are looking at you, knowing that you don't have the fire to resist them. Who is it? You have a gun? What? And it is left for you to understand the psychology in order to understand what to do. And I'm talking to Nigerians in general. If you continue to behave this way, you're behaving towards them, they will enslave all of you. You know that yourself. You know that yourself. So Biafrans must, first of all, let me, before I continue, say, Biafrans must report, record, and record abductions, record and publish. Yeah, you must report, record, and publish. Just like I just read this one now. It's published in Sun News. You must report, record. These are the ages when you have phones. Put those pictures must go viral. They must go viral. You know, pay people within them to also, you know, get you the necessary distance. We must be doing that. You know, we must report, record, and publish abductions, torture, extortion, rape, and disappearances perpetrated by Nigerian military, police, and security agencies. That is what you do. You know, the idea of just waiting to be killed is something I myself will never subscribe to. No sensible person will say, you know, oh, just wait so they'll be killed. In Igbo, they said, no, sisi no naga. This is a tree that had it to be cut and just stood there. So you don't act like the tree. Okay? Yeah, do not act like the tree. Because let me tell you the truth, as painful as this is, the crying will not help anything. The crying will not help anything. As painful as this is, the sorrow it brings to us will not help anything if we don't do something to help ourselves. And this is part of the problem, because since the Biafran movement has started after the war, you know, this in 1996 by Ekwenche, you know, and so on, to call our people to pay attention to exactly what is going on. You know, it has continued up till today. A lot of them are paying attention eventually, you know, because that attention is important. You have education about your history, yourself, how your relationship is with other people, and why, so you can understand why certain things are done politically, economically, socially, even culturally, in different ways in your interrelations with them. To simply ignore that, it's like a crime to yourself. You're committing crime against yourself. Because when you know something, it helps you to understand, you know what is going on around you politically. It helps you to understand how to relate with particularly your own enemies and, of course, your friends. You know, right now, you must build communities in cities and streets through organizations and work out methods of self-defense. Since ESN, you know, could not be everywhere. Yeah. And, you know, people tell you, oh, this is not legitimate because evil terrorists seize the government and they are running the government. They tell you it is the law. You know that is a government of terrorists. We say, when is it a law to release terrorists? But they have been released terrorists. Since when is it a law to support terrorists, Fulani, people that the Global Terrorism Index has voted as fourth in the whole world? That they have been wreaking havoc in 36 states of Nigeria. Since when is it a law for a government to support them, arm them, and do, you know, you see what I'm saying? So you cannot be looking at the government as government. That is your problem. You cannot be seeing the soldiers. They are terrorists. That's what those soldiers and policemen are there. And look at, they are doing the work of terrorists. They are killing our people innocently. They will say, oh, do you know there's violence in the East? They're burning police stations. Since when did we start burning police stations? What is the cause of that? They don't want, Nigerian press will never discuss it. Never. They will never discuss the cause of these people. The people are resisting. The police and army are made to be jihadist instruments to bury the Quran in the sea. That's their problem. They have, Ahmad Bello said it. Everybody knows that. You know what they stand for. So, you know, and I keep saying it. It is, Islam is an unreasonable religion. It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you that. This is Radio Biafra International. It does not make, they cannot sit down and argue with you on facts and figures. They will not. They just, so what drives them is not, because when lying is a part of religion and they told you to lie all the time, takia they call it, to advance, they encourage them simply to, the way they think is whatever they gain is right. What I gain from you is right. The way I gain it, you know, it doesn't matter as long as I do that. You know, if I take your land, it's right. If I kill you, it is right. And the religion that tells you if you kill people, others, Christianity says to evangelize others, to speak to them. If they agree, okay. If they don't agree, you leave them and go. You know, their decisions, it's up to them, just like your decision is up to you. Whatever you decide, the consequences comes as well. So, but in this religion, no, it is kill the infidel. They call infidel to be killed. And this is what we're seeing in governance. So, and this is why when we said when 12 states in the north adopted Sharia law since 2000, can you imagine the adoption? So there's a different kind of law operating in different countries. There in so-called one Nigeria, same country that you are. You cannot operate in certain areas. That's why they will burn beer. They will, if you have watch, you can't wear jeans. Women cannot wear trousers and all the rest of it. The Sharia law began to be enforced. If you put sunglasses, you're in trouble. So in a society like, how does that function? How do you have a society like that? Different rules, different places, and that they're applying to us what the religion, they are applying. Some of you are talking about constitution and all those things. Look, nobody applied the constitution for the Islamic North is Sharia law. They're applying Sharia law. So what they're doing now is to subjugate the rest of us so that we can live under them. So, it's very important that our communities now must begin in different streets. While people, there is some form of stubbornness that we always exhibit. May God remove that from us. You cannot just stand there and watch these terrorists in uniform come in to kill and abduct, and okay, you watch and wait away, and then you cry. Nothing. No streets, every street now should be calling meetings so that you can talk about. There are ideas that can come to you. But you got to call that meeting. Hold that assembly. Hold that assembly. For every problem, yes, you will have problems to overcome. But that's what to do. That's what life has always been since you were born. Why is it that our people can start having meetings? Because you're going to need to work with yourselves in streets, street by street. You commune, what are we going to do? You start it right now. Because they are not coming there to talk to you or simply to, they're coming to kill you. They're coming to massacre you. It has always been Nigeria's record. That's why they don't want anything about civil war to be talked about. They are suppressing the story. Why? Because to expose the story is to expose the wickedness of Nigeria. To expose the story is but the story is already exposed. This is the day of internet. When they were doing those things, they didn't know the internet would come out. And the internet was eventually invented by a Biafran soldier. That's to tell you. And now the internet is out. The whole thing is open to the world to see. If you tell them in 1950s that this will come out like this, just like you see these people who are abduction and everything, a lot of them will die. Some of them will be held responsible, put on in handcuffs and brought into court, and they will face justice. But if you tell them now, they will not believe that, because their confidence is that we're in the army, we are soldiers, we are in the police. The Nigerian army has armory, it has tanks, it has air force, it has this. That is, that's their confidence. So when their confidence fails them, you will see what will happen. But this is their confidence. That's why they can violate people anyhow. And their government has been seized by the Fulani. The Fulani have seized Nigerian government. They hijacked government by Fulani. It's obvious. They have been doing so. In fact, we're talking about it's just hijacked. It was even hijacked from 1960. You can't get any other thing when the British backed them, get anything done fairly or, with equity. No, there was no democracy. They rigged the first election. The British rigged the election of 1959. And you have a British colonial official come and confess it, not me. You all have seen that. It's gone viral a long time ago. They rigged the election and then they continued the rigging from 1964, the following election. And this is what caused the violence in the West. Then eventually the coup. You see? So, and like I said, rigging an election is worse than coup. And then since then, you can see the trend all the way down. Elections have been rigged every now and then. It's all about holding power and conquest. That is what the Fulani sees. That is what Islam teaches. Holding power and conquest. That's nothing else. But look at their societies. Look at Islamic societies all over the world. How peaceful are they? How developed are they? Yeah, you mentioned Dubai. You mentioned Dubai. Dubai has a sense of economic distance, but you go there, there are no freedoms that you can exercise. In your village, you will not exercise it in Dubai. That is, you are gone. You go and see their judicial system now. They'll cut off your head there. So, go and check these things, and you can understand that this is where the problem is coming. And for these people, Fulani has succeeded, a small ethnic group has succeeded in conquering all the ethnic groups in the north, a lot in the middle belt, they're still taking their lands. Then they come down, even the west, they are now situated in the west. They said 1,123 camps, some say 1,472 camps, Fulani camps in the west. What are they doing? That they've been killing, they've been raping, they've been doing that. It is recorded. You see that? So they have to take over. Al-Shabaab is in, Islamic State in West Africa is already in there. Can you imagine? Trying to take over the whole country for their land. And they've said it. They didn't, So I don't know what people think when you just want to stand one place and be killed. I don't get you, frankly, myself. Yeah, if we are dying, let us die with some form of, like people who are thinking. Not, just stay there and just kill. And then you cry. Who are you crying to? Who will help you out in this thing now? The same government that is killing you? Or you want foreign countries? To say, oh, we'll talk to foreign countries. Look, foreign countries fought their own wars. Go and check their history. Since when have they called you to come and help them? Since when have they called you to Britain? Oh, in fact, come and help us. They are not concerned about your safety. They also have their own problems, mark you. So if we cannot help ourselves, we will all suffer in this. It is so obvious. And I want to address those who are fighting for the Fulani, those who are in the military uniforms and this thing, because some of you are from different tribes in the north and so on and so forth. I want to ask you a simple question. After fighting for the Fulani, who will rule who? Is it the Fulani that will rule over you, or you will rule over the Fulani? This is the question I have for you, who is a non-Biafran, in uniform, working for the Fulani, and you are working for the Fulani. Because you talk about Nigeria means Fulani. That's all it's all about. You know that yourself. I'm asking you a simple question. After fighting for the Fulani, who will rule over who? Is it you that rule over the Fulani, or the Fulani will rule over you? That's the question you need to answer for yourself. Mazi Chuksikeriwa, I would like you to comment on this news that we have. We have shared out to our listeners. I'm calling on Mazi Chuksikeriwa. I hope that.
Okay, Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I will start by welcoming our esteemed listeners, everybody listening to us, all Biafrans, humanity in general. We welcome you to another special day on the people's favorite radio station, Radio Biafra International. We're discussing about the misbehavior of the terrorist Nigerian government. I told us that these people are terrorists. I was telling us that these people are terrorists in all ramifications. Everything about them is about terrorism. So you must have seen why we've always called them terrorist Nigerian government. All the actions are full of terrorism. Everything about them is about terror, how to intimidate, how to terrorize you. They have this mentality that by terrorizing you, you give up your rights, and then they can play on it, they can trample on it, they can make mess of it, they can twist it the way it fits them. And then whatever they do, you just fold up your hand, because this is the way they work. All they know is how to terrorize people to gain, as in to intimidate you to give up. And when you give up, they now have easy access to run over you, run over everything, and then make it perpetual. They've done it to the people in the middle belt. They started killing them, and before you know, they ran away into IDP camp. And what has happened to those lands they ran away from? These guys are now living in it. In fact, they're putting signposts on it. What happens? By the time you dare not even come back, because they're telling you that you have to be alive to even think of ancestral land. This is the government policy. It's a government policy of this government. So you guys, you know that we are living in a Buhari is the biggest terrorist in who, that people have never known. He might claim to be this or that, but this man is a terrorist from all action he takes, from even his speeches. He's a genocidist. Everything about him is all about terror. It didn't start today. It didn't start today. When he was the president before, he terrorized the whole country. People, politicians were arrested for no crime. People who were even convicted were charged to court by force. Some cases he had to make sure people who were discharged by court, that because they weren't found guilty, were retried again and then convicted and charged and sentenced to as much as 100 years. It has happening before. There's no new thing. Most of us know we, and that's why we won our battle against electing a terrorist to rule Nigeria. But because Nigerians were so blinded by hatred, they left the man who was showing them light and went into darkness. So we all must suffer the darkness, but we are saying that it's not our right to perpetually suffer this because we suffered it enough. And that's why we're saying that Biafra must go, so that those who decide, those who willingly submit to terror, those who willingly submit to be terrorized can continue to enjoy the dividend of terrorism. But we Biafra, we are not. We've suffered those terrorism before, and that's what we're making out. We say we don't want to continue with this terrorism act. Buhari's government, the army he uses, their terror ban. At least Amazoji was telling us what the military did in 1966. After the coup, they went into and started killing fellow soldiers, fellow military officers. What is their crime? Because they come from the eastern part of the country, because they were Igbo, because they were this. As far as they come from the east, as far as they're concerned, you are an Igbo, and then they started as in killing them, slaughtering them, finishing them, because this is a government of terror, by terror and for terrorist acts. But we've said no. It happened that time before. The killing of our people didn't start in 1966. It started as far back as 1945. We must understand this. This terror has been ongoing for many, many years. It has been ongoing, and they are not stopping. Rather, they are growing bigger and stronger in their ability, in their desire, in their plan to annihilate us, to finish us, and make sure that they occupy our land. There's no other people in this country that these people have this kind of hatred they have for us. It didn't start today, right from the time of Ahmadu Bello. He said it. We will never allow the Igbos. We will never. He was always talking about Igbo. Just try and watch the BBC interview he granted. He was saying it. If you allow an Igbo man, if you make him a foreman, if you make him a labor, he will grow to be. In fact, he will invent himself to become a foreman, and because of inventing himself, he will now make himself a leader. As in, that was the mentality he was selling to these people as of then. That this was done as in 1953. He was already selling that mindset because he has seen the Igbos as people who are courageous, people who can get what they desire, and that's why he sold that mentality to them. And since then, that mentality has been inbuilt in them. He has taken a root that's never been seen before, and these people has vowed because they must terrorize the Igbo nation. And the Igbo nation, if we are not careful, we will pay dearly for this atrocity. And that's why it's very incumbent on us that we rise up to the occasions and stop it. Stop the man at the gate of the city, because if we enter the city, we are going to cry, and that's why most of us are crying now. That's why they brought so anger in us. Why? Because immediately this thing that happened in Imo is giving us already crying this. And people said if we don't stop them at the city, we will cry. And most of us folded our hands. We were watching at them. We were watching at them when the new IG. No, we watched them when the old IG went to Imo State and pronounced that ESN IPOB was responsible for the jailbreak in Imo State, for the destruction of that jail. Most of us watched. Instead of us to raise up our mouth and speak that, most of us kept quiet. He no concern us. He said it. That statement by him was a plan. He was just instigating the plan. But he was just like preempting their plan, and that's why they sacked him. Nigeria is not known to sack anybody. Immediately he made that statement, they removed him immediately, because to them, this man was preempting what we were planning. We planned this so that at the end of the day, we can blame it on IPOB, ESN. But he was so fast. Immediately he said it, The governor of the state letter came out and said exactly what happened. That this is not done by these people you are accusing. It's done by politicians. Politician from my party. Politician from my party said it. He was even linking Rochas to Crusher to it. And this guy, because of that, they were angry. They removed him. We must all understand Nigeria does not remove anybody. They've never sacked anybody. This was the first man they were sacking in so many years. That should tell you that it was not an empty sack. It was a sack for why are you giving out our plan that we've already concluded? And what happened? Immediately they moved him, they put in the new IG. What did the new IG do? He came to our state and said it. He was telling his soldiers, those who are killing you, go there and massacre them. Suspend human rights. Human rights doesn't make any meaning. He said it. It's on tape. He said it. That was exactly what he told them. He told them, suspend human rights. You can go and abuse these Igbos, just use this as an excuse to murder them. And all of them hailed him. Hey, most of us kept quiet. How many of us spoke there? Thank God for RBi and BRM. Well, maybe we'll put up a statement, we'll put up a press statement to condemn those people. Make sure that people were folding their hands and looking, saying it no concern us. If you don't speak out when it matters, you are going to pay for it. And what happened years later? What again? The activities of the unknown government, who nobody has actually told us specifically who these people are. Nobody has said it. Even one group came out to claim, to say, oh, we are ESN. The government said no. The government said no, you are not. These people are IPOB ESN. That was exactly what they were saying. Because they were driving at a point. They had a determination. They had the game plan. The game plan was to blame everything on IPOB ESN. So even when the real people who were interested or whatever came out to tell us, they said, no, it's not you. Don't even talk. In fact, I'm telling you from my research, there's a media gang. There's a media gang up on anybody linking or saying exactly who the unknown gunmen are. The media in Nigeria has gotten, they were forced, they were coerced to always blame whatever the unknown government did on IPOB ESN. That is the game plan. That's exactly what they are doing. And they've mastered the art. Once 1 to 3 days, they will bring somebody to come and confess that he's an ESN operator. He was an operative, rather. Sorry for that. ESN operative. He was arrested. He has been arrested, and he goes on confessing. The one so much committed blunder that he said he has been an ESN operative for 3 years. And most of us know that ESN is just 5 years. Was just launched in December. And this guy is saying, most of them, once you look at what their confession, you know that these people were being teleguided on what to say. And because the Nigerian GSS is so terrorist-minded in its outlook and actions, they do not even take time to teleguide them very well on what to say. They keep committing blunder that most of us can easily see what these people are doing. So what happens? Immediately, most of this, their plan failed. Their plan has always been put it on ESM, put it on IPOB, and they've been doing it. But most of the time, what these people do, most of them do not stick. Most of us do not stick because people know what is happening. And then the idea of killing Golak in Imo State came up. And immediately happened. Why they put it up this thing? Oh, they're not killing people, they're not bothering people in Imo State, blah, 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 blah. Nobody took time to investigate who murdered Golak, Ahmed Golak. Nobody dared. All they need was, because it was a predetermined action, they immediately put it on IPOB. They immediately put it on ESN. They immediately put it on Igbos. Generally, because to them, IPOB ESN means Igbos. And they banked it on them. Most of us still kept quiet. How come you don't talk immediately when these people are coming out with their plan? How do we close our mouth? It's until the damage has been done. It's very incumbent that we speak out immediately. Release your praise statement. One of us release president ads pointing at one thing, the world will hear us. That's why our people say BK, as in there's power in multitude. Let's do it collectively. That's what I'm even telling some people. It's not every time that we attack ourselves. There are times that you just allow some things go because of the collective synergy that we should be building. How come most of us didn't speak at that particular time? And because we did not speak, they capitalized on that idea of Golak was killed in Imo State. Imo State, they are burning they are burning INEC offices, they are killing military, they are doing this. Is it only the Southeast INEC office has been burnt down? As of last time, about 40 something of them has been burnt. If you break it down, the South even had more numbers, but nobody talks about it. The media is being paid not to even talk much about it. In the Northeast, a lot of INEC offices has been burnt, but each time it happens in the Southeast, they glorify it. Why are they glorifying it? Because they're involved in it. It's a terrorism that these guys have brought our land and they're saying it. And the problem, what pains me most, is that instead of our people speaking out against it, they're rather blaming it on IPOB. IPOB this, IPOB invited them, IPOB do this. I may not agree with everything IPOB is doing, but in this case, it's not them, because this people has been doing it before. They've been doing it before. It's nothing that started before. Yeah, they did it to Mazub, they did it to Zionists. They started right 1945 to execute this kind of plan. So we should learn to tackle the major issues and leave personalities for once. Let's just tackle this issue. This is what brought towards our doorstep. The sacking of the statement and the sacking of the former IG should tell you that there's a game plan. So we should try to dismantle that their game plan first, and then we can come back and settle the in-house issues that we may have with personalities and what have you. This is where I agree with most Biafrans. This is what I agree with most Biafrans that keep targeting most times. We must tackle the issue. The issue is that this was brought towards our doorstep. They've never hidden it. They're using the Golak murder as an excuse, and they are already killing. Look at the report you are reading. About 35 murdered extrajudicial dumped in Federal Medical Center. Who knows those who have been dumped in the bush? Who knows others who were just killed and that corpse dissolved? I saw a video where they were taking people away from the Opinze, barracks. Who know where they took those ones for? They must have dissolved the thing so that there won't be any trace. It's a systematic killing of our people. It's not about anybody bringing what our people. These people are determined to give us the word. They're determined to eliminate our young men. Their target is always our young men. Why? Because they know it's this young men that are the future. It's this young men that will fight them tomorrow. It's this young men that will campaign about them tomorrow. They have this fear that if they're able to intimidate the young men, the old men will keep saying, oh, come in. They will start. The fear of the old men will make them not to encourage you to fight back. And then it's easier for them to kill the old one after killing the youth. This is a systematic. It's happening in the boy state. It's happening everywhere. And our people must rise up and condemn this systematic killing of our people. The worst is not just they kill you systematically. No, the worst is that they even come out to arrest you. They parade you as a common criminal. Then they label you as a terrorist. Nigeria is a terrorist country. Imagine a terrorist labeling another person terrorist. At the end of the day, when they go to a law court, they can't substantiate anything that they've placed on you because there's no evidence. They tried it with Nnamdi Kanu and other lieutenants that were with him. Nothing happened. They couldn't even prove anything in court. It was even a Biafran that was giving them what they could have done. The Biafran said Nigeria is only stupid. When that's so stupid, what they would have done was to try to get first of all, charging Nnamdi Kanu for obtaining by false pretense, obtaining by trick. You understand? Because he was collecting, according to him, he was collecting money from people to buy something for self-defense. As of then, he has not bought them. And because he has not bought them, the government would have used that as an excuse to get him to admit. Because the only way he could have been free by then was to show cause that he has bought something. So, and he has bought something, they cannot charge him. If you're able to prove he's innocent that he has bought something, they cannot use it to charge him for treason. It was a Biafra was saying it. It was a person that was giving them the idea. But Nigeria is so stupid, they didn't know. Even if I died, you would have worked, but nobody was ready to testify. You don't go testifying against your brother for what was not this. Even if I have issue with my brother, I wouldn't go testify my brother what would put him in problem. So, if in any way they was have done that, there was no way they could have succeeded because everything was faulty from the genesis. You don't fight, you don't catch a man and charge him for treason or charge him for whatever because he's fighting for his right to self-determination. The same right that Buhari was also advocating for these terrorists, for this Islamic state or these Islamic nations. Our people must know that these are the reality. They had no reason, they had no cause, they had no evidence, and they were there for almost 2 years. They couldn't prove anything against anybody. And I must tell our people one thing. You might not like IPOB, you might not like any other group, you might not like BRN, you might not like the Zionists and what have you. But we must understand that all of us who have been arrested by Nigerian terrorist nation, all Biafrans in this new dispensation, nobody has been convicted of any crime. Nobody. And they always are fast to label, to blind, to tag you this and that, but they can't prove it. So people must understand that these things are just predetermined attempts targeted at cooling us down, stopping us with so many allegations that they prove things they can't prove. If there's something we must do now is to always make sure that we stop the enemy at the gate. And the only way we can stop them at the gate is to speak up when it's necessary, speak up when we are seeing the game plan, because most of us saw the game plan with this, what just happened. Most of us saw the game plan. If most of us had been more active, even as of today, we should be asking them to reinvestigate, because you can't tell me that, oh, you neutralize those that killed Gulag, you finish them, you destroyed the forecast they had, you destroyed everybody and every other, therefore the case is settled. No, case can't be settled because you've never investigated the phone call of the man. You've never investigated what brought him to the state. In other words, who these people have murdered are just innocent people, because no investigation was carried out and they've already executed the plan. They've already neutralized. And then the most important thing that the man, they said it was the driver of Gulag that gave them the information they needed. That the man called the motor the killers used. He called the number of the model of the assassins. He mentioned the models of the car, and then he mentioned even the number. Can you imagine that? Any man, every right-thinking person, a lawyer or what have you, an investigator should know that if a man who was in a crime scene, where gone, where we dead and everyone that can have that kind of memory that will remember everything that happened, then that man must be a person of interest. That man must be picked into question. In other words, every other person, if Nigeria is a sin country, even the man who gave that information, if it's true that he actually gave information, and those military, those terrorist Nigerian officers who participated in that atrocity that murdered those who they claim is the killers of this, must be brought in and reinvestigated. They must be subjected to a trial, because even in America, we have trials within a trial. We have the investigation within an investigation. So there should be an investigation inside that investigation to unearth what happened. But behold, Nigeria is a terrorist country. They are not interested in settling issues. They are all interested in tagging an innocent person a terrorist. It's all about demonizing person. It's all about giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. We must not allow these people to give us a bad name. We must not allow them to give a dog a bad name in order to encourage them. And then we must not allow them to segregate us, because this is what they do. As in divide them. Oh, this just to come and say, oh, these people are the issue, this people are the issue. It's not bad. When they start killing, they do not mention, oh, do you support this or you do not support? They will just kill anybody, waste anybody they want to waste. So we must not give them the opportunity. If you keep giving them opportunity, they will keep killing our people and dumping them in the hospital. And then coming back to celebrate, because that's exactly what they are doing today. Thank you. As I wait behind.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chusikirimi, for that analysis. You were mentioning like Gulag, like, you know, they're talking about Gulag as if Gulag is Gulag's life is more important than other lives. You see, that is how Nigeria does things. And the reasons why is that because they control the central media, they all bought them up, you know, yeah. But thank God for social media, which they are trying to see if they can crush, but it's not possible, you know, which we'll discuss about Twitter and all the rest of them. The impostors, terrorist impostors.
Can I just chip in something?
Yeah,
the most negative aspect is not even the media they've bought out. They've bought. Okay, I know they've bought the media. The mainstream media has been bought, but the most this thing is our people within ourselves who go supporting these criminals, who write all kinds of junk in the social media supporting them. It's those who are giving them the leeway, those who are giving them that boldness, because that's what they will do. They will screenshot what you've written and then post it somewhere and then make it look, oh, these people are this, these people are that. Those are the ones who are giving them this. They are the ones who are giving them that enablement and boldness to continue. Not even the buying of the social media or the buying of the mainstream media, rather. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And you're very correct. Those of us are people who go and make publications. And these publications, they write, you know, everything we do is as a result of our mindset, so what we think. You know, I keep saying it. The sin that we have in our society is that what we have in general human societies, but in our own too. I mean, when you glorify money, it's going to material things. You know, it's going to affect the way your people reason. When it is time to act out of the spirit, they can never decipher what they're supposed to do spiritually because they are materialistic people. They are mundane. They are, you know, hedonists, basically. You know, they have certain hedonistic tendencies. You know, tendency of simply looking for sensual pleasure and all the rest of them. That is why the spiritual part is important, because it is in the spirit that this thing is also going on. What is in your spirit? What lies in your spirit? What do you want to do? What is your value system, basically? You know, and this is why we want our people, because this lack of, we have to think, basically. You know, to think that tomorrow you will live peacefully with the Fulani in one Nigeria. I mean, you know the answer to that. Those that you either live under them as fourth-class citizens, and they will they put emirs in your towns, you know, marry your daughters away, kill the men, make the other servants to them. That is how feudalistic people, that's how they are. Very wicked people. That is their wicked culture. That is how that's why the North is the poverty capital of the world. Let me now explain that to you. And terrorism capital of the world. They are bringing that terrorism down to you and poverty down to you. It has always been happening through government policies. They tried to strangulate us through government policies right after the war, as soon as the war was over in 1970. And that was why we made a mistake of saying that war ended in 19. I'll stop there. You see, we stopped so that you can have peace, isn't it? Have you had that peace then? That is the question. Since 1970. They're still killing you over the riots here and there and so on and so forth. The records are there. It's not going to stop until we make, you know, and we've ended one at one baby. But you cannot be without your knowing exactly what you're handling and what is your problem is. Don't pretend you don't know that these people are out there for conquest. Stop looking other places and thinking that you can call this person, call that person. You know, oh, it's something that you just handle by talking. Okay, go ahead. We'll see how far have that talk. What did it yield to you? It is a system that you need. Freedom is not free. You know, we like to say it, but to commit to it becomes a problem. That is why some military come into the street and then, you know, catch up people, kill them. Everybody else is going around. Tomorrow, you see everybody else going around like nothing. That's why I say, hold those meetings. Every street must have meetings on security, If you call them meetings, you will be amazed what to start coming out of there. But you will never do it. Never. Our people are just, you know, they just go about like nothing. This one will go away too. I know what's going on in your mind. This one will go away too. That's the devil talking to your mind. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, your enemies will be defeated for you to be free. If you ever think that your enemy will let you go, you are joking. You are. The devil is speaking in your mind. Yeah, false hope. That's how devil has killed some lot of people. False hope. We have talked about the Jews of how 67% of European Jews got lost. Until the other ones began to think. They still had to fight, isn't it? Yeah, but they lost 6 million. Imagine if they had started the fight earlier. So a lot of people have been safe, being alive today. Even though, like I said, after that, there are people who are always eager to tell those who are telling their people to defend themselves that they are the ones causing the problem. You see that thing? That's another devilish suggestion. Somebody is killing you, and then oh, if you defend yourself, you're causing the problem. You're making the enemy angry. You will kill more. Can you imagine that? In your brain, this thing is going on in your brain. That's the devil. And they might say it, they're saying it out of fear. Let me tell you the truth. It is fear. Once you subject yourself to fear, you're finished. I'm telling you, you're finished. The predator will finish you up, because that's what Fulani are. They're predators. They kill, they do they subdue people, and all. That's all they're doing. We can see it happening. The borders in the north open, the borders in the south closed. They bring the ones from Mali, from everywhere. They come in, keep killing, everywhere killing. But the government now, they want to come to the southeast and teach us a lesson and speak to us in the language that we don't, that we understand. Well, I think don't pretend we don't have a language they will understand too. That is your problem. You don't understand that you have a language your enemies will understand. Until you understand that, you will stop just walking around like nothing is happening, thinking that it will go away. This is the mentality that destroys our people all the time. It will not go away. You can think all you want. They are there with you now. Okay, go and, you think you can change. Okay, man, you go and preach to them. See if they're going to change. That has been, you've been doing that for the longest time. So this is people you're expecting that they will change. Let me give you some history. It's good to, give these facts and figures so that those who have mind to think can think enough and convince others. Why are you waiting to be killed just ordinary? I love to hear that somebody's fighting for his life. I'd rather be fighting for my life and die than just stand there and be slaughtered like, what kind of nonsense is that? It hurts everybody. Hurts us. That's why we're saying this. They have guns and ammunition and all the rest of that. As soon as we brought gun into the equation, you can see how things change. You see that? Yeah. You need to protect yourself. Yes. Every people who are free on this earth, go and check their history, see how they fought for that freedom. And the same goes for us. Unless you don't want to be free, then we go and submit to Islam. We go and become first-class citizens. But there's a choice to make there. That's all we're saying, finally. Yeah. People talk about, do it peacefully. Who are you dealing with? You're dealing with the devil and you're telling to do it peacefully. Are you crazy? This is why, just some form of, what could I call it? Intellectual dissonance. Do it peacefully. It's like go to the devil and ask the devil for peace. Don't quarrel with the devil so you can have the peace. That means you don't know who you're dealing with. That's all you're telling us here. That type of talk is, it shows stupidity. Frankly, I'm just telling you the truth. That's exactly what it is. Stupidity. You'll go to the devil and you will get peace peacefully. Just negotiate with him and, he just grant you peace and you go. Okay. Yeah. You are not, looking at reality. Let me read this to you. I have read it before. RBi has published this statement by Samson Ayokunle, president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, before. And I want to read it because we need to constantly remind ourselves of what exactly we're dealing with. It says, from 1980 to 2009, this is records. Stephanus Foundation, this is a foreign group that was taking note of what is going on in Nigeria. Stephanus Foundation records show a total of 1,785 attacks in 32 states of the country. 1,785 attacks between 1980 and 2019. In a space of how many years? That's like 40 years, isn't it? 1,785 attacks in 32 states of the country. This led to the death of not less than 28,878 innocent people. You see that? It shows you the nature of what you're calling country, isn't it? Then 121 Muslim riots in 19 states. Remember, 121 Muslim riots in 121. You have to pause at 121 and begin to meditate on the number 121. Otherwise, you don't understand what we're being told. We cannot just, just fly over, fleet over serious information regarding our lives. 121 Muslim riots. It didn't say Christian riots because there's no Christian riots. None whatsoever. None. They can't even get themselves together to do certain basic things. How to talk about riot? No. One Muslim riots in 19 states. The other one is 1,785 attacks in 32 states. Then in 121 Muslim riots in 19 states, the death of 9,451 lives occurred. Also, Boko Haram militant groups were responsible for 701 attacks. Boko Haram, that started yesterday, there were 701 attacks. In all these, think of 701. You know, if you're not thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Let me count. This is bombs exploding, people being killed in mass, you know, 51, 52, 53, 50, 701. You have to think of it. Boko Haram attacks. I'm saying this so you can understand what you're dealing with. We all should understand what we're dealing with. Even I, as I'm counting it here, I'm meditating on that number myself. If you meditation means you think about something, you know, focus and think about it seriously, consciously. You begin to see things you didn't see before. That is our problem. That is our problem. So you can understand it deeply. 701 attacks. Boko Haram. And the Nigerian government did not send the army and police, you know, and beg them that they will finish them up. They didn't teach them a lesson that the language they will understand. All these 121 Muslim riots, the government did not teach them the language they will understand. And that is what has come down to East. And when they are fighting it, the government wants to teach the people in the East language they will not understand. And the governors are simply wusses. They are agents of the devil, the way they have worked with Fulani, allowed themselves to be cowed rather than stand with their people. We have seen that happen all the time. You know, in fact, on 30th of May, they massacred more than 30, almost 50 people in Ebonyi State. In Ebonyi State, while the governor was mouthing off his whatever, you know, that nobody can bring for sit at home. You know, mouthing off against sit at home. Nigeria does not want us to honor those who died for us, because to honor them means to bring attention to their crime, to their atrocity. When I say Nigerians, I mean the North is the North, the Islamic North that does all this. Islamic North. Thank God that others are recognizing what they are made of, and they are now standing up to resist them. You must resist them, and everybody must be free in that place, including the Hausas, whom the Fulanis have, and all the ethnicities in the North. The Fulanis have conquered. Those of you who has conquered that are serving in the army and police, I'm telling you again, you know, I remind you what I said before. If you're fighting for the Fulani, because that's what you're fighting for the Nigerian government. You know it's Fulani that has seized the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government is used to serve their purpose. You know that. So if you're fighting for the Fulani, who will rule over? Is this you that will rule over them, or they will rule over you? You've answered that question, and you will understand what you're doing. Yes. Will you rule over them, or they will rule over you when you're fighting for the Fulani? While you're fighting for the Fulani, are your land safe? Who is ruling on your land today? Who is in charge of your land today? You need to ask yourself this serious question inside you to understand what you're giving your life for. Because you're coming down to the East, I'm telling you, you're going to give your life to, you know. That's it. Then your children, your daughters, the Fulani will take them, they will serve them now. What do you think will happen? And they're doing it right now in the North. We need to think. So those of you who, you know, yeah, I'm in uniform, I'm soldier, Nigeria, you know, we are one Nigeria, this, that. Fulani will tell you to shout like Nigeria, you shout one Nigeria. One Nigeria means Fulani rule. What is Nigeria today? Isn't the Fulani taking charge of the government? Own the government, basically. Running the government themselves. They don't care what you say. Yeah, and that is it. That's one Nigeria for you. So when you're saying one Nigeria, you're meaning that you want to be enslaved yourself, even though you're in uniform. Who are you serving? You can't be killing people who are innocent, people who are defending themselves from genocide. You go and help to kill them, whereas your own village is taken over by Fulani bandits, Fulani terrorists everywhere. So you see what you're going to put your generations down the line into terrible servitude. And you will not defeat the East, though. Let me tell you the truth. Yeah, you not defeat the East. Never. Before you will get, so let me continue and finish this. It says 701 attacks, Boko Haram militant groups responsible for 701, and that 701 has increased already, definitely. Attacks that claimed 12,812 lives in 15 states. I mean, when you know the number of states, you wonder how much part of so-called Nigeria is left. Again, 963 attacks from Fulani militants. So, Fulanis kind of top the whole thing. Fulani militant groups, which is Fulani terrorists. In 32 states, there are responsible for 6,615 deaths. This is on record. And up till today, no one has been brought to book. Look at that. Up till today, no one there's government. And you people are saying Nigerian government. Terrorists in government you're talking about. You say the Nigerian government. When you're calling them Nigerian government, you don't understand how stupid you look or you sound when you're saying that. These people are simply terrorists. Nobody has been brought to book. Instead, it is those who cried out that were subjected to state harassment. They use the state for jihad. State armed forces. That's what you're doing when you're doing that. You're going down to the east to kill innocent people. You're not thinking very well. You're not thinking deeply. These are facts. You can't confront them with it. You know what they'll do to you now. You all that are in Nigerian army and police and military and navy and so, you are afraid of the Fulani. You are afraid of the Fulani to the core. That fear is what is using to drive you. Why you subject yourself to that fear? The whole country is subjected to the fear of the Fulani. That is why as soon as there's resistance, they want to take out the leader so that others they can push the rest into the fear. Because the leader had the courage to, gather the people and say, let's resist this oppression, isn't it? So the tactics is to kill the leader. That's why they want somebody who killed. They want the kind who killed. They want the other person who comes out says he wants him killed. That's what they do. They kill. They kill innocent people for opening an opinion. That's also what I said to those who are Muslims. You start to have to think about your religion. Religion that tells you that somebody holds an opinion, you kill him. There is something wrong, fundamentally wrong with that idea. Because what you're saying to somebody else is an opinion. What if he kills you? What if he kills you? But it's a religion that does not subscribe to reason. It's unreasonable, even. Not to talk about I'm not saying to convert you. I'm telling you the truth, simple, because I don't have the power to convert. It's the Holy Spirit that can convert you. I can't do that. But I'm giving you the facts. So you have here Fulani attacks, 963 Fulani attacks. And the government is not teaching them a lesson or speaking to them in the language they will understand. You see that? 963. And when I say 160, you still have to meditate on the number. 960. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. If you are not looking at, I'm counting so you can see the numbers. 969 attacks by Fulani. But the government, the armed forces is not going after them anywhere. They're going after people who are resisting the Fulani from killing them. You see what is going on. In Benue, they are moving, the military are there, moving them out from their lands, telling them where to go, moving them to the IDP camps. Rather than attack those Fulani bandits that are taking their lands. They've said it, they've come and said they'll land on your life. Femi Adesina, he said it. All these things, and Nigerians are here talking like children. You see them in some media stations talking like children. Oh yeah, so what is the economic plan of the government regarding the lower wage workers? And this is where you think, in this sort of environment where the government is government of terrorists, that's where you're talking about low wage. Oh, forget it. You people are in for something else. You know that. You know that. Because that poverty they are using, the reason why they make poverty their main objective. They in poverty as they made Nigeria the poverty capital of the world. Buhari has made it, is that when you're poor, they can control you better. When you're poor, they can use you and dump you anyhow. Yeah, because wealth means that if you have it, you'll be a little resistant to them. People who are nobodies with hunger, you'll be subdued. And fear. Hunger and fear is the instrument of Fulani conquest. And it's the instrument of conquerors everywhere. Hunger and fear. They use it and beat you down. And this is what is going on in Nigeria. And it is the Fulani that are doing it. People say, oh, hey, don't talk about Fulani, not all of them. Who? I ask them, where are the good ones? Because the good ones would have attacked what is going on. Do you hear from the good ones? No, isn't it? The good ones would have been speaking like us. But they are tacitly in support of it. They are silent because they are supported. That's what their silence means. You know that. So, stop thinking in that way. It's time for you to think about fighting for your freedom. Period. Fight for the power belongs to the people. Fight for your freedom. Stop talking rubbish, for goodness sake. That, speak to Buhari, these impostors, Femi Adesina, Garuba Shehu, and what is his name? Gambari, who is behind plotting all these things in Aso Rock, plotting jihad and Islamic conquest. Speak to them in the language they will understand. I'm telling you, all of you from the east, those two sides of the lower Niger, Biafra land, I'm telling you, those of you who are in the middle belt, speak to them the language they will understand. Those of you in the west, southwest, speak to them the language they will understand. If you don't do that, you will only listen to their own language, to you, which they are using against you. Speak to them the language we're going to understand. Well, we'll use that phrase. I love that phrase too. So we'll use it to analyze this thing. So remember what I said, what we read here said, this is by Sansalogio, President of Christian Association of Nigeria, speaking to World Press Conference on Thursday, January 23rd, 2020, at the National Christian Center, Abuja, Nigeria. So he says again, 963 attacks from Fulani militant groups in 32 states. What is left of Nigeria? Another 36 states, isn't it? And one ethnicity is perpetrating violence in the whole country. One ethnicity is perpetrating. But they're telling you about Imo. This Imo is this, Imo, this, oh, they killed Gulag. But Fulani is killing everybody in the country. It is not an issue. Some of these people, they are dumb. I'm sorry to say so. Nigerian journalists are, I don't know, something's wrong with them. But they disgrace themselves when they're talking about something else. Other than this, none of them questions the government. Why is it that Fulani people have attacked practically every state in Nigeria? Nobody talks about them. The government, the army, and the police is not sent out to go after them. Why? That is a legitimate question to ask. That is a reasonable question to ask. But nobody asks the question. They don't. They come up there and be telling you how Imo police station. How can you burn a police station? How can you do this? Police stations and INEC now are burned all over the country by Fulani terrorists. People are killed by Fulani terrorists. Every ethnicity driven out of their lands, raped, their farms destroyed. Every other thing is done to people unimaginable. Their bodies cut to pieces in 36 states of Nigeria by Fulani people. But nobody is asking that question, challenging the government. Why don't you send the army after these Fulani terrorists? Because the government is a terrorist too. It's Miyetti Allah doing this. And the president is a patron of Miyetti Allah. And the Sultan of Sokoto is grand patron of Miyetti Allah. So they are working together. But they are prisoners. Those journalists you are looking at, them talking nonsense in Channels TV and Arise News and what is his name? Ruben Abati's morning show and so on and so forth. They are prisoners. That's what those people are. They are prisoners because they are scared of the Fulani. They can't challenge them. But you see them, whenever they come out, they are telling you about Imo. They burned police station in Imo. There is the unknown gunman in Imo. They killed policeman and an army officer. Oh, it's policeman and army officer. But these are people that released, what do you call it? Boko Haram members and put them into the army and the police. This is an army that works with terrorists. So why do you make that army sound like it's a legitimate army anymore? It's an army that should be acceptable to me. The army that kills people, disappears citizens, and does everything. What type of army and police is that? There are 300 roadblocks, checkpoints put in there, and then they extort people to poverty. They abduct them, disappear the bodies, they cut their bodies and sell the organs in their body to the international market. They rape the women. There's extrajudicial killing everywhere. And you still call that the army? They never talk about those extrajudicial killings by the military and police. They keep telling you about, oh, police station is bombed. They bomb police station. They bomb police station. They bomb police station. They bomb and you're listening to that. And you're listening to that. You need to know what you listen to. You already know what they're doing. Now go and listen to your own people. Listen to what is actually going on so you can know what to do. We cannot, and I keep telling people, what you do in life, God will judge you for what you do when you hear the truth. Because I know that the more we react positively to this, what is going on, the more we support these people who are defending us, the more we support the boys who are defending us, the more we defend our people, God will bless you the more because you're supporting what is right. The rest is let me tell you the truth, you can pretend that you don't know that what is going on. That's some evil in you. I'm telling you that today. There's some evil in you. Because you would have done something to defend the innocent. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. What you're waiting for is all these people will die. Tomorrow Biafra comes. You come out and tell us how you fought for Biafra. How you stood for Biafra. But now you're hiding. You're hiding. That is something against you. God will hold. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you. You can hear me. God is hold it against you. Because you know what you could have done to fight the wicked and to stand up against the wicked, but you don't do it. Because your life is more important to you than their own life. Those who are being killed now, that's the thing. That's all it's all about. The worst is that you claim that you don't want peace. I want peace. I don't want war. What does that mean in the face of what is going on? Okay, you just say it and they will go, oh, we'll tell them that, we'll tell the Nigerian army, you said you want peace and not war, so they will go back. That's what we'll do now. We'll tell them that. That's what you said. You can make focused excuses. But I'm telling you, when you do something for your own people, you are saving lives. That is why those who are putting money, supporting, giving advice, and changing the people, to be more defensive of themselves, they are saving life. That's why I'm saying begin to form security meetings every street. We need to work and find out, begin to work with the ESN, work with the UGM, work with anybody who is fighting for your freedom, because they are out to kill. They are doing that anyways. You want it to reach 50,000 again before you start acting. Don't you know that if the Igbo had started acting earlier in 1966 appropriately, fighting in Lagos, fighting here, fighting there, organizing themselves, do you think they would have killed 50 million? Of course, that thing would have happened self in the first place. Yes, because you defended yourself in time. But I know you, my people, I know you very well. You will wait until the toll is, 50,000, and then you begin, hey, Ifenka, the wicked talk defa. Ifenka, Adigotum, with 50,000 dead. They are not people to you. If they had started with you, we would have used your own life to say Ifenka, they go too much. That's what it will be. You are talking glibly like that because it wasn't your life taken or that of your brother or sister. That's selfish. That's what it's called. These are people of your same bloodline with you. Why are you not, why are you not worried and gingered about it? Let me finish this. And it says here, 963 attacks from Fulani militant groups in 32 states were responsible for 6,615 deaths. And up till today, no one has been brought to book. Instead, it is those who cried out that were subjected to state harassment. A few suspects arrested were later free to continue with the atrocity. They arrest them in your face, right? Then they release them from the back door to continue the atrocity. It was the federal government that was justifying the killings of the citizens by accusing some governors of making laws against open grazing. You see? The federal government, Fulani federal government, were justifying the killings of the citizens by accusing some governors of making laws against open grazing. Just like they are justifying the massacre that's going on in the East. That's why I tell my people, Radio Biafra International is telling you today, rise up and fight. We don't want to be hearing that people were just abducted and taken somewhere and killed. You make it easy for them now. You make it, if you want them to be killing you easily, killing us easily, that's what you're making. You might say, okay, I don't want my child to fight. I don't want my child to fight. You know, because all these things are what's going on to your head. You make that your child easy prey. Easy prey. Easy prey. We lost 2 million in the war because you were thinking, that's the way we were thinking. Let me tell you, that's why we lost 2 million. Because if you had started in time, 2 million, they wouldn't have encircled us in the first place. Put you under siege. What were you doing to leave them put you under siege? They put you under siege because while the signs were coming and they were coming, they were killing them. Oh, you were looking for some excuse somehow. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. We don't want war now. We don't want. What does that mean to your enemy? That's what you have to think. When you are saying you don't want war, what does what you are saying mean to your enemy? Does it mean that your enemy is listening and he will say, oh, you don't want war, so I'm going to stop killing you. I will go back. You know, if that works, I will join you and start saying, we don't want war now. We are not peace. We are peaceful people. Stop that. They know you're peaceful people. That's why they're attacking you in the first place. That's why they're killing you in the first place. So it is what is going on in our mind that is the problem. Because you want to live, then you give yourself over to death. Yeah. But I'm telling you, any day you say, oh, I don't care, damn it, they will hear it now because you have taken the proper spiritual posture for what's good. They will hear it. And I'm telling you, after dealing with them, the next 1,000 years, nobody will hear about Fulani again. I'm telling you. You don't know the power God has given He has given you. But you have to understand it and use it. Quit blaming victims. Oh, they should have done that. Quit blaming victims. That doesn't make sense. Fight the perpetrators of crime. That's what makes you a human being. It was the federal government that was justifying the killing of citizens by accusing some governors of making laws against open grazing. So they say laws against open grazing because of offense. We want to bring the cattle to the south. It's a pretext for aggression. It's a pretext for invasion. That's what that is. An invasion of your Islamic invasion. So they use cattle, push it down. That's it. They know they steal the Nigerian government oil money now that comes from Biafra land. They are in charge of it. They steal the money. They know they can build ranches even with free money for them. But you see, the Fulani is not about just stealing money. If it was that, I know you now. You will say, forget, leave them with the money now. Which one is your own? That's how our people talk. Leave them with the money. I know you. But if it was only that, that's okay. By me, I would just say, okay, no problem. Because if it's by me too, I know it's better to fight for justice. You don't come and steal my oil and, just use it and do anything else. Yeah, who are you? Why should you do that? But the problem with doing such a thing and say, oh, leave them with, is that for one evil, you leave one evil, it goes to number 2. It grows to number 2. You leave number 2 evil, it grows to number 3. You leave number 3, it grows to number 4. That is what we do not think about seriously. All of you in the middle belt, and I'm telling you, think about how you're listening to Fulani. That's how we grew to this extent now, that they're killing everybody. Let me tell you the real secret why they're killing people. They tried to exterminate the Igbo so that they won't see them in the face of the earth again because of the rabid hatred they have for us. In 1967, they failed. They lost. They had heavy casualties. I'm telling you. It's on record. Yes. So by 1970, they found out that they haven't achieved that. So what happened? They turned on the Fulani, they turned on the Yoruba, they turned on the Bagi, they turned on the Birom, they turned on everybody, the Langtang people, they turned on all of you. Because getting you to serve them in 1967 to 1970 to wipe out the Igbo, you didn't succeed in that. So they turned on you now. They went and brought their brothers from Niger, Chad, and Mali to come and kill you, all of you. Now, you are all the problem now, not just the Igbo now. You and the Igbo are the problem. And you can see it happening. So now up to date, no one has been brought to book. A few suspects arrested were later freed to continue with their atrocities. It was the federal government that was justifying the killings of the citizens by accusing some governors of making laws against open grazing. They claimed that the killings were not genocide against Christians, but farmers had us clash. You see, in the light of the current developments and circumstantial facts surrounding the prevailing upsurge of attacks against the church, This is Samson Ayokunle speaking. It will be difficult for us to believe that the federal government under the present administration is not colluding with the insurgents to exterminate Christians in Nigeria, bearing in mind the very questionable leadership of the security sector that has been skewed towards the religion and region. They've seized the security sector. The reason why they seized it for genocide is for push the Quran down the sea. What else do you need for anybody to tell you? And then you stay there and we just wake up in the morning and go about our businesses like nothing is happening? Like nothing is happening? No meetings by anybody to do something about this? You know that the DSN cannot be everywhere. It is time to train our young men to begin to know how to fight information security, take security measures. Take security measures. Take security measures. Take security measures. Take security measures, because that is only what is available to us here now. If there is something else, we would have done it. If you are talking to people who are listening, this would not have been raised in at all. The issue of this, that. No. We would have been doing our businesses and minding them. You know. But what do you have as evidence? You have a solution, bring it. We have tried everything. So he says here, remember when he says that President administration, he said, it is difficult to believe, not to believe, that the federal government under the president is not colluding with the insurgents to exterminate Christians. Colluding, remember that word, colluding? Remember Danjuma, former army chief of army staff? Danjuma hated the Igbo so much. But he's telling you in Taraba, they slaughtered them in Taraba, and he cried out. He said the military is colluded. They are making it easy for Fulani terrorists to conquer. That is why they have 963 attacks from Fulani militants in 32 states. Can you imagine if it is the Igbo that has, let's say, one attack in another state? Hey, the end of the world has come. Because all you are looking for is some fault to blame it on the Igbo. You see how your mind works. That's what the Fulani has done to you. But him, 963 attacks in 32 states. You are not outraged at all. There's no sense of outrage. That's why you see the media. It looks very funny when you look at the media. When you look at our Rise News and channels and Ruben Abati's listen, it is like children's play. They are not serious at all. They are all afraid of Fulani. They are there to work for Fulani because Tinubu owns some of them too. So when you come, they are questioning you. The question, underlying the question is, why are you questioning what Fulani is doing in Nigeria? Killing people and so on. And some of you listen to that. So we must encourage people not to, and we must expose what these media stations are doing. How something. And this is by Samson Ayokunle. He says the appointments in security sector, 17 out of the 18 security agencies and arms of government, 17 is headed by Islamic Northerners, most of them Fulani. And it is skewed against the religion and region, you see, and against the South. Samson Ayokunle was the president, I think still president of Christian Association of Nigeria, speaking at the World Conference on Thursday, January 23, 2020, at the National Christian Center, Abuja, Nigeria. 1,300 churches have been destroyed by Fulani terrorists. And this is all that we have seen. So we must understand this, understand the effects of what they have done, and understand, have our own methods of saving our life. And it is support. We need support from our people all over the world to support our people who are fighting on the ground. That is just your duty to do. Because let me tell you the truth, when you become free eventually, we will honor those people who have, their names will be on etched on some form of monument, all of them. And I think even from the war, we will have documentary of all of them. We'll be honoring them. It started already. Very successful 30th of May. Can you imagine? That's what's bothering them. That's what is bothering them. So let's look at this. It says about Nigeria, if news, fireworks anger trail Buhari's shock threat to secessionists. This is in Guardian of June 20th, 3rd June. No, sorry, 3rd June 2021. Twitter deletes Buhari's civil war post for violating rules. Federal government lampoons action against social media giant, applying double standards. You see, they attacked Amnesty International for publishing. Once you publish the truth, they'll attack you. And why are you said Islam has proper values? Where are the Muslims? You don't condemn people who try to suppress the truth. You know, Amnesty International, but with facts. There are facts and evidence everywhere. Now they will attack Twitter. You know, that's why I say Islam is against human rights. There's no, fundamental. It's all against it. All these instruments in the United Nations, which is predominantly Islamic nations have signed, it's just a lie. It's takia. Because they don't practice Sharia. Is not democratic. Sharia is anti-democratic. So what is the argument all about? The truth was said to you, and that's you have a problem. Why are you threatening always? And when you are killed, you start saying, "Oh, Israelis killed these people. Oh, that one in America killed ISIS." I obliterated under Obama, 50,000 of them there, obliterated them completely. And they're still fighting. That Islam will all put your head in the hell where you want to go. That's what I want to tell you. Where you want to go to hell, you go there. No problems. It is the Christians that I keep blaming, who keep being jealous of one another and keep doing other things rather than listen, and then claim that they have the gospel. What gospel do you have? When it comes to your human life, you support terrorists. People went and voted in support of Buhari, but they're Christians. A jihadist, professed jihadist. His value system is different from yours. Fulani does not have a land in Nigeria. You have Hausa land. You have no land that is Fulani land. But they would like to set up emirates and sultanate and this and that. Complete rubbish. It will be resisted. I'm telling you, you will fail in that. Nigerians, I'm calling on you, those of you, all these ethnicities, the middle belt and so on and so forth, arise and defend yourselves. Work with your partners. Work with those of the same values with you. That is how you survive it. Not to be used by people whose values are opposed to yours. It's a conflict of values. We all know that. You know, people who ban Twitter for saying something that is true. You know, for they ban Twitter, ban this and they want to ban social media. You know, yeah. If something is said against you in social media, please can you tell us? You can report to it. That is why freedom of opinion is very important. Somebody says, "Oh, you did." Okay, yeah. You say, "No, I didn't." Yeah, and the person will make a fool of himself. Definitely. Next time you don't see him put up something that is a lie, because that lie will be attached to him. Even if he's using different handles or whatever, you know, yeah, because he's trying to answer back. That's all you do. But to say that somebody shouldn't talk means that you're trying to hide something. You don't want him to say something that is true. You want everything that is true to be what you say you believe is. It cannot happen. There's no way what only I like can be true. No. There's so many things I might do that are wrong, but I don't know that, or I don't just be exposed when somebody says something about it. That's it. I'll think of it. That's how you build a civilized society. Civilized. C-I-V-I-L-I-Z-E-D. Civilized society. The opposite of that is an uncivilized one, which is what we have seen Fulani do. Yeah, that's the opposite of that is Fulani values, Islamic values. Uncivilized. Must intimidate people into believing something. You must force people, you know, intimidate them with death. That's why we call it terrorism, because it's terror, death. And you don't know that there's a bigger terror that will terrorize terrorism. That's why an Israeli army or US army comes in, then you see what you're looking for. You tell me nobody has a monopoly of violence. Who are being violent in Nigeria? Where did this insecurity come from? Is it not from the north? Is it not from Fulani people? The terrorism of Nigeria came from 1804, from Fulani in the first place. No, in 1808, they went and terrorized Nupe and took over Nupe and imposed their emir there. in almost the indigenous communities all over the north. They've imposed their MS. They wanted just, they kept on killing and just Biafran people kept resisting. And they kept killing because they want to put their emir there. It is a religious doctrine that is motivating them to do this. It is a very bad religious doctrine. Has nothing to do with God that created heaven and earth. I'm telling you that. You can reason yourself. Because if other people were doing like that, they will be obliterated from the face of the earth. There will be no Muslim, I'm telling you. If other people were like them, oh Lord have mercy. And they will cry and nobody will hear them. We'll tell them that, oh, Christianity must be everywhere. If you don't believe in Christianity, we'll kill you. And we still do it. We do it, and what do you think will happen? They will start shouting that they are being killed. Oh, this, that. Israel is unfair. He said a disproportionate response. What do you mean disproportionate response? Oh, the Israeli army even goes down and informs the people that are going to bomb a building. Did the Hamas inform Israel that they were going to throw 2,000 rockets? Always using different standards for different people. And this nonsense is what we cannot continue with. Simple. Cannot continue to it. If you want to live in peace and leave people alone. Leave people to make their choices. Self-determination is a fundamental human right. It's a right. Once you say no, somebody cannot be free. You are the oppressor. You are violating his right. And that is what we're seeing in Nigeria. Peoples of Nigeria, East ethnic nationalities of Nigeria have the right to leave Nigeria if they want. Leave it. It is their right. Period. And if you resist that right, you are the one causing war. If you refuse that they will exercise that right, you are the one causing the war. That is very clearly. Yeah, I mean, at least you have some brain enough to understand that. It's not that most of you will not oppose. I'm talking about the Islamic people and some fools who will talk about one Nigeria, we have to be one. One for what? Who made us one? Foreigner come and make yours one. Eh? Please allow people to exercise their rights. That's how you get peace. If you don't do that, you have lost your sleep, as Nigeria has lost its sleep ever since. More is coming. But my people, please do not make yourself available to be killed easily. I keep saying that. I'm reading this fireworks anger trail Buhari's short threat to secessionists. I want to discuss this after I've read it. And it says here, President Muhammadu Buhari's Tuesday's turn warning to secessionists. See, they like to call Biafrans secessionists, not people who are agitating for self-determination. You know, they like to use words that make it look like stuff. You cannot secede from what you're older than. We are older than Nigeria. We're existing. This Nigeria you're talking is just 100 years ago only. That's when somebody came from foreigners, came from somewhere and said, created it without our consent, our consultation, or our consent. So let us be very clear when we are talking about Nigeria. Nigeria does not really exist. This thing, your function is a dead, you are flogging a dead horse. Just get that into your medulla oblongata. It cannot work. It's unworkable, as we have seen for 100 years. Because Fulani wants to Islamize everybody by force. You will not succeed. You are big jokers. In fact, you are going to see how that your empire of emirate and so will all collapse before your eyes. As they did to you in Central African Republic. It's those that they use in the military that I'm advising. Know what you're doing, because you know tomorrow you say, oh, you die. We are the ones that are being killed here, and then when we kill back, you say, oh, the Igbo, you, as if we are not human beings. Consider only yourself. You all know the situation didn't used to be like this. Yeah, something started it. Go and, you know, please go to the what is the, you know, where the root cause of it is, for you to judge or assess anything. But to tell people not to defend themselves, I'll never do that. What I will do, I'll encourage them to defend themselves to the hilt. That is what will happen. And that's what's happening. President Muhammad Buhari Tuesday's time warning to session assumed global dimension when the popular microblogging platform Twitter deleted a tweet on the president's official handle at M. Buhari, in which he threatened to treat Nigerians, quote, misbehaving in the language they understand. Fulani is not misbehaving, after attacking 36 states and practically every nationality in the country. No. It is those that resist them that are misbehaving. That is why we see them as sub-animals. You think we have any, this thing you're doing, well, we should fear you because you have tanks and you have aircraft, Nigerian Air Force, you have seized and hijacked it. That is what is even firing us up. You are sub-animals because you don't reason like human beings. You reason like the animals reason better. The animals will not consider, will not do this. Okay, I will. When I finish, I'll ask our sister Ozioma to comment on this. When I read that, I think I'll start with Sister Ozioma. But let me finish the article. It says, the tweet had attracted millions of comments and widespread condemnations, with many Nigerians criticizing the president for making reference to the war in which millions of Nigerians, mostly of Igbo extraction, were killed. Some Nigerians had called on Twitter to suspend his account, claiming the president's tweet expresses intentions of self-harm or suicide, as stated on Twitter usage policy. However, Twitter yesterday deleted the message and replaced the tweet with, "This tweet violated the Twitter rules. Learn more." Okay, there's another one I want to read. So what was the reaction of the federal government? The federal government announced suspension of Twitter in Nigeria. So the federal government has suspended the operations of microblogging platform Twitter in Nigeria. The announcement made by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture via Twitter reads, the federal government has, quote, the federal government has suspended indefinitely the operations of microblogging and social networking service Twitter in Nigeria. So you see, not only that, it says the minister said the federal government has also directed the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, to immediately commence the process of licensing all OTTs and social media operations in Nigeria. They want to license all. You see that? And then there's something again, another news that came in. It says Buhari suffers another setback as Facebook deletes its controversial message. So he said the federal government may have ignited a social media war. It may not be able to prosecute or win. With the suspension of Twitter for deleting President Buhari's tweet for what Twitter considers offensive. Shortly after announcing Twitter operation in Nigeria, Facebook joined Twitter in banning President Buhari's civil war controversial message on his platform, saying that it violates his standards and capable of inciting violence. You see that? So Facebook now spoke up. With this action, President Buhari's entire message has been removed from Facebook following the ban on Twitter on Friday by the federal government. In line with our global policies, we have removed a post from President Buhari's Facebook page for violating our community standards against inciting violence. We remove any content from individual or organization that violates our policies on Facebook. Recall that President Buhari had made a post against the Southeast region of Nigeria via his official Facebook page early in the week when INEC management, led by its chairman, submitted a report on attacks on its facilities across the country. One more very important, that is also conjoined news on this. It says here, World Igbo Congress announces declared war on Southeast. It says Chairman, Board of Directors of the World Igbo Congress, Professor Anthony Ejiofor, has lamented the comments credited to the Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP. This one is before Buhari's own. Usman Baba, during the unveiling of Operation Restore Peace in Southeast. He specifically chided the IGP over his comments on which he directed police officers not to wait for the agitators and criminals to come to them, but take the battle to them. See that? Yeah. As the chief law enforcement agent of Nigeria, the IGP did not bother about the killer herdsmen who engage in banditry, killing, and kidnapping in the country. He didn't bother about that. He has not ordered a shoot on sight on those carrying AK-47 in the Northeast, but instead the criminals are paid and rehabilitated to fight their enemies in the South. You see, they pay them, the government pays them. This is simply a terrorist government. Number one terrorist government in the world. I think that one and Afghanistan is no longer, not even Syria where there's violence. This is just number one. So it's the worst terrorist country in the world, number one. He says, so he has not allowed the shooter's sight on those carrying AK-47 in the Northeast, but instead, the criminals are paid and rehabilitated to fight their enemies in the South. The World Igbo Congress want immediate deployment of acting IGP since he has succeeded in deploying terror in the southeast. The final onslaught to annihilate our people has started. The Buhari government imported foreign invaders and gave them access to invade the Imo State prison in their attempt to unleash terror and start killing innocent Igbo youths who are clamoring for good governance, he stated. He noted that unknown government are on a killing spree in the hinterland, disrupting local vigilantes and Eastern Security Network from securing Igbo land. The WIC and coalition of all diaspora Igbo organizations are troubled by the IGP's comments, he added. We wondered how many operations restore peace the Nigerian police have declared in the Northeast, Zamfara and Niger states, where Boko Haram has foisted alien flags, adding that it was time the federal government stopped pursuing shadows and face reality in the Northeast. WIC seeks answers from the Southeast governors, Ohanes and Igbo and other Igbo leaders who watch the herdsmen disparage their people, accuse them, judge them, and even deliver death sentence on them while they do nothing. See the problem here. Leadership requires you to do something. You're doing nothing, but you want to be answer the leader. Rather than shed Igbo blood and that of other ethnic groups needlessly, we call on Nigeria to initiate actions that will ensure equity and fair play in polity, or initiate the process of a referendum to allow the various ethnic nationalities to exercise their rights to self-determination. So, Public Relations Officer of WIC, Basil Onkwe, enjoined Igbo youths to remain vigilant and seek to protect and preserve themselves against military invasion, because the federal government and Southeast governors have failed to lift expectations. They have failed, you know. So I'd like to invite Oziomeme, if she's here, to speak to us on this current event. If she's not in yet, let us, while we wait for to be connected to her, Chuksi Kedigwe, to now the Nigerian government is now battling with Twitter and so on and so forth. He's battling with Twitter, he's battling with Facebook, this is the situation we found ourselves in, So if the president is, Nigerian government is at war with Twitter and Facebook, you wonder where that is. The world, they are what leaders of war. They are just at war with the world in terms of information. So they don't want
thank you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Should I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's one features of terrorists. He's always in fighting everybody. He fights Twitter. He's fighting Facebook. He's fighting Ohanese. He's fighting everybody. Anybody that speaks the truth is fighting them. When any radio station or any media outfit says the truth, they come bombarding the person with ban and withdrawal of license and what have you. That's exactly what a terrorist like Buhari, a terrorist government does. Everyone, they don't want people to say the truth because the truth will always expose them. A man who is doing the right, why is he afraid of what people say? We discover how Jonathan was insulted. How many stations did he ban? Was even afraid of all the insult these people threw at him. They called him all kinds of names. He wasn't bothered because he was right. What the Jonathan was saying is that the anger these people have in them is just too much. They talk. If you listen to their speeches, you know that these people have not forgiven themselves. As in, the anger is so much that the man who was somebody who have peace within him. Why does he have peace within him? The atrocities he committed in our land is still paying him, and that's why he wants to silence anybody that talks about that Biafran war or what was happening. That's why he does not want us to celebrate or even honor our heroes who were there. 2015, we went about to honor our hero. It was a marvelous occasion. I was there. We rejoiced, we celebrated, we remembered our destiny in peace. Nobody harmed us. 2016, when it was a war happened, he brought war because he didn't want us to remember. He brought war. He massacred a lot of Biafran youth. And since then, the other time when we honored our people, they gave us quick notice. This year now, this atrocity, this evil that's happening now is as a result of the attempt to prevent the sit at home to honor our hero, and then the aftermath of the honoring our hero. That's exactly what is happening now. They have angered that, oh, how can this be successful? How can they start home? Because the way we start home to honor all these people, the world remembers that genocide took place. And that's what they don't want to listen to. That's why they will tell you, oh, everybody go to their work. These are the same people that accuse us when we come out, or that day they are telling us to go to our work. How much they love us. That's to tell you that this guy is a criminal, is a terrorist, and is a evil, is a devil incarnate. But before I go, let me just start by thanking World Igbo Congress for that. This thing that you just read was wonderful. This kind of thing that we expect from all these our organizations who must be up and doing right and condemn ways, condemnable, praise ways goes to where we have to praise, and then show leadership by directing people what to do when there's need for it. The only this thing I didn't like about that is where he was making referendum optional. He said, let's live in peace. If not, then let us have a referendum for the component these things. It shouldn't be like that. What the book should pass that to where you make referendum optional. It should be the first thing. In fact, you should be calling for peace. If there's any call for peace, a peace so that referendum can take place, everybody can decide. These people do not want restructuring. It wouldn't favor them. What will favor them? Absolutely nothing. It's a continuation of this mayhem that they've brought to us. And we're saying we don't want it. So as much as I commend World Igbo Congress for that beautiful piece or editorial or a press statement, whatever they call it, I must also knock them for making referendum an option. It shouldn't be an option of anybody, both for Hanese. Or Hanese keeps saying, oh, we want one Nigeria, we want no one Nigeria, we want one Nigeria. Whether they're saying it to please our people, I don't understand. But at the end of the day, whenever they say that, our people must remind them that that's not what the majority are agreeing. Majority are arguing about. That's not what the majority want. And they want what the majority want. What the majority wants is to conduct a referendum and ask questions. Let's vote for it. Not just telling me we want one Nigeria, one Nigeria. We and them have never voted for one Nigeria before. We never discussed about it. So we must have this right to any other person who is writing, as far as we're using this platform to tell World Igbo Congress, we appreciate them, but at the same time, they shouldn't make that mistake again. And then coming to the atrocities of Buhari has actually helped to internationalize the Biafran struggle. In fact, it was the person that gave me the massive dissent from the outset. It was a statement on jamming Radio Biafra that escalated even the struggle and projected it as #1 trading topic all over. And that's exactly what gave him massive this thing. And this is the same thing he's doing with this thing. He has double internationalized it or triple internationalized it. Everybody's now aware. Everybody's now asking questions. What kind of genocide was he referring to? And those who didn't know about the Biafran genocide are beginning to study about it. The world is carrying the news. So at the end of the day, we even thank him because his misbehavior, his hatred for himself is actually exposing it. It's actually helping the struggle to a certain element, to a certain extent. And we thank him for that too. We thank him for misbehaving. Yeah, we thank him for misbehavingly. Yeah, helping the struggle. But one thing we must not thank him is for killing our people. We never appreciate him killing our people. We never appreciate him threatening us. We can't take those threats from him. And that's how most people must actually stand up to write against it. Bring it always to the level. Because the problem with our people is that we are too forgetful. The other time I said the point that we've forgotten to use. We mustn't forget this point. We must keep bringing it up. Every other time, bring it up, so it doesn't run away. People should not forget what the threat that these guys have given us. Most of the time, they'll say that we insult people, Biafrans insult people, but they forgot that when they started the insult, they were the ones that started calling us hoodlum, unscrupulous people, thugs, what have you, criminals and have you. And then when Biafrans hammer them, because they are too insulting. So people must understand, each time they tell you that you are too insulting, tell them they started this insult. The Nigerian society started this, so the third Nigerian society started this through their media. They were always saying it. So we must let them know. You can't be killing people. If you're killing me with a bullet and then the weapon I have is the weapon of insult, I will use it. So you taught me how to use this weapon of insult. Yes. By first of all calling me names. So if this is what I use, if I don't have the bullets, the arms to shoot, I'll use my bullet, which is my a bullet of insult, and I will use it to the extent. I'm not afraid of those who even say Biafrans insulting love. We must understand that whatever bullet you have is insult, and thank God that the bullet is hitting them. That's the most important thing. It's not about, it's thank God that this bullet of insult is hitting them. And we must continue to...
Yes. Go ahead. We'll finish up.
And we must continue to positively use it, okay? Insult might not be all good at times, but at times it can be very positively used to achieve your purpose. So Biafrans must use it and use it accurately. It's helping the struggle, no matter what, because it's hitting them hard and hitting them hard and hitting them hard. It's in this hitting them hard that you continue to make this unforced error. Because what Nigeria is doing now is committing an unforced error, and this unforced error is helping the struggle. So let them continue. Let them even ban everything that's bannable. We always find a way to tweet. We always find a way to use our social media. They can't ban our they can try with this, but they can't stop our this, because we must keep talking. We must keep speaking. Thank God for Radio Biafra. Even if they're banned, we will be on air to speak. We will continue to be here to speak, and we will condemn all the atrocities of our people. But the most important is our people must be alive. We must stand on our feet. We must criticize the ideas, their policies, and then people must understand one thing: the Nigerian government is not saying that. I've heard that the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, is threatening that is giving this in to prosecute anybody who is using Twitter, and it's very funny because there's no law criminalizing use of Twitter. What he has just done is a policy. He just activated a policy. But so now, the use of Twitter is not a crime. So everybody should go ahead and use that Twitter. What they're saying is null and void. In law, is rubbish. And they can't teach us because we know these things more than them. So the biggest disadvantage Nigeria has is that they don't have any weapon to use again, and that's why they're just dabbling. So we must take advantage of them not lacking the ideas and the point to use to actually finish this fight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, I mean, that we see with that self-defense, as you said, is a right. Simple. Self-defense is a right. So you don't need to stand there, and then people will come to kill you, and then they kill, whoever you're calling. Who are you calling? Nigerian government? It's a jungle. Now they're going to ban people from using Twitter. It's unbelievable. This is the Attorney General speaking, to ban people from using. Can you imagine that? Criminalizing, using the means of communication and information. Very soon they'll ban you from using phone. So this is what we are talking about, the mindsets of these people. They made the place a jungle, and it's worse than a jungle. So I would like to invite our sister Oziomeme, after which I will invite Ahmed Flukando to speak on these issues that is going on. What should our people do? Because some of them, I think, are still there being killed. The military comes and just takes our young boys and girls and, sells the boys off to slavery, the girls off to sex slavery, to be, same thing, Boko Haram, Shabazz, all these terrorist organizations. That's what the military is doing, and then kill the boys, that's, very wicked people, devilish people. What should our people do? Sister Oziomeme, I want to invite you to speak on this, because, some of them don't seem to be, they don't seem to be aware even of the dangers. And all you hear is just cries, no resistance. I'd like to invite our sister Oziomeme to speak on that, because it is time to begin to resist. We need to be organized, calling meetings, places, talking, doing things to show that we are resisting these people. We cannot just roll over and die. Say people, there's something wrong with that. Our sister Oziomeme, if I can be connected with you. I will come back to Oziomeme when after our brother Ahmed Flukando finishes speaking, our own veteran Ahmed Flukando. Let's invite our brother Ahmed Flukando to speak on the current events. Buhari is fighting Twitter and Facebook, the government. The other time it was the Amnesty International, because he reported the killing of Biafrans. They banned Amnesty from Nigeria. Can you imagine that? you know. So these people are not, you know, these are very uncivilized people. These are not human beings you can reason with. And that is the problem, you know. Yeah, that's the problem. Mazi Amiflukando, if I can be connected with you.
Thank you very much, Mazi Mogalo, and thank you, members of the panel, for today. And the topic we're addressing, very, very interesting. I was listening to what Mazi Kedigwe, he hit a lot of points. The most important is that the president himself is a very good advertiser for what is going on in the Southeast in generality. So let him continue what he's continuing. I just want to say that Radio Biafra International, you guys are doing fantastic job, because our messages are getting to the places they are supposed to get. So continue doing the work, because that is our vision, mission statements. A fantastic job. My major problem is the going around of the military, DSS, and so on, especially in Owerri town, and picking up our boys. The question is, what do we do? Are we just going to fold our hands? Whatever comments you have to make it, because it will get down to the appropriate quarters, because that is the stage we're in right now. Each time I listen to it, my heart boils, and I feel like it was those days when one is younger to really go out, because we know what to do in situations like that. So I'm putting it forward for each and every one of us and our listening audience. What do we do? Because we cannot stay in our houses and the DSS army will just come inside the house, pick up our boys, and nothing happens. It has to be challenged. Let me leave it that way. It is food for thought. For the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, discussions are going on. We have to. But just remember that it is bringing us to the stage whereby it will go out of hand. If you remember the 1967-70 war in Gakem, it was that has to, doesn't need to be crossed. So it's getting down to that point. For the people involved directly in the operational areas, I don't need to tell you what to do. And for the planners, you know what to do. We understand the situation. So let's leave it that way. The picking up of our boys and girls and killing them, because as I'm speaking, about 30 to 36 bodies are lying in Owerri, and the mortuaries over there. Must we allow that to happen? Yes, we know that they have weapons are already there in Owerri. So the appropriate persons should know what to do. That's all I would say. For us in Radio Biafra International, we have to really, in addition to the good work we have been doing, things are going fine. When I put it generally, you can see the northern groups trying, addressing one of their sultans that they should decide on what to do with the Southeast people, and so on and so on and so on. They cannot take us by surprise anymore. They will not take us by surprise. Let us continue informing the Middle Belt people, Southwest. The other day, Iboho was saying something to the effect that if for any reason the Igbos are attacked, that the Yoruba Dudua people will come to help in that situation. So these are the successes that are being achieved now, that we and our Yoruba brothers and sisters, we have finally understood what we have gone through, the mistakes of the past. This is the time to correct those mistakes I'm speaking in adages, and I don't want to be so for. It's a question of use your tongue and count your teeth. That's how I'm speaking now. So we have to ensure that the Southwest, the whole of the South, and the Middle Belt are working together. That's what I'm saying. There's a few people who are not understanding what we are doing. They are the ones still believing in one Nigeria. No, one Nigeria is not the correct thing to be talking about now. We understand that most of you, or let us say, most of us have properties outside our southeast and so on, or the former eastern region, that make them to believe in one Nigeria. You should not be afraid. When everything gravitates down, you cannot lose your property. All right, it's not like the abandoned property that happened in Port Harcourt or so. It's not going to be that way. That will be addressed later. By this, I mean, you must secure the land first before you start talking about the mat and all the other additional things. So let us be very careful, know what we are doing, be prepared. Okay, if the army is coming down to your area, before they come, you should have used the phone. If you are the first person that saw them driving into your village or so, by now you should have known that you should alert everybody until the time the war will be declared openly. Because at that time when they come, you know what to do. So we have to be very tactful. This is time to use wisdom. If we don't use wisdom, I mean, we'll be wasting our time. If for any reason they are seen coming down to a particular village, by now anyway, all the vigilante, all the roads leading into your house, because they cannot come by walking on the road. They will use either motorbike or vehicles, loading their guys. The first thing you do, you alert. The one I received, was it some 2 days ago, was Jos Bukru. Somebody sent an audio, I'm sure most of you saw that, whereby he said he saw a number of vehicles carrying the military people with Bulala, that they're coming down to the east to use them on us. Such things he has given an alert is for everybody to be aware of it, and we start determining what we are going to do in response. This is time, please. We should be very, very vigilant. You sleep with one eye. There is no reason whatsoever that each of our villages that border the northern villages that are not supposed to be having their vigilante groups alert at all times. At least there must be 1, 2, or 3 who are on sentry, watching. If any movement comes, the first thing you, by now, thank God with the telephones we have, call 1 or 2 persons who will now spread the news that there's a state of emergency, so that everybody wakes up. You know when they normally come for their operations. And when you checkmate them, they will run. We have the number on our side. So there should not be any reason whatsoever to be afraid of what is going on. Just be prepared. That is the key thing. Be prepared. While the alliance we have had is gradually being cemented and strengthened, we need it. We don't want to fight this war anymore just by us, but they are doing everything to focus it on the east, especially the southeast. We are not going to allow that. We have to involve all the other alliances. Those are the kinds of things I'm expecting to be happening now. Not like, say, LONC or NINAS fighting IPOB. We don't have time for that. Let everybody stay on his lane. Let us move forward. Whatever you can do, you do. Just like we in Radio Biafra International. This is our lane, informing our people, preparing them. It's not our business to start criticizing. We do not criticize anybody. Every group should do what they have to do. Let them stay on their lane. That's what they have really mastered to do. Let them do it. That's what we are doing for us. Radio Biafra International. We are doing our own work. That's what we carved out for ourselves. And I'm proud to say that we are making real progress. Look at the number of people right now that know what is going on. Prior to this time, some months ago, it is not like that. So we must give credit to each and every group that is contributing their own quota. That's all I will have to say in the interim. Thank you. May God bless each and every one of us for today's broadcast.
Thank you very much, on veteran Ahmed Flukan, for that advice. We would like now to go to our sister Oziomeme to give us her contributions on the current dicey situation. Mazi Ahmed Flukan has given us very valuable ideas as usual, and why we should stand up as a people, because there are two alternatives here. You resist, or maybe you just concede. You go and kneel before the Fulani and, hand them over everything about your life. Because it's a battle about our lives. That's what it is. Sister Oziomeme, if you're there, I would like the world to hear from you.
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody, lovers of freedom, Biafrans all over the world. RBi panelists and contributors, thank you so much for the great work you guys are doing. Mazi Chusi Kedigwe, thank you. Mazi Odemoalo, thank you, and our engineer Leonard Anemine, thank you for setting it up. And Mazi Kando, our veteran, thank you so much. You were speaking in codes, but I think I got some of them. Thank you so much. Anyway, it's a mouthful. It is sad what's going on. And I don't know why. I guess we don't have any leadership. That's what I would say. Our stakeholders, or so to say, what they call them. I was reading about the meeting they had with Governor Hope Uzodinma, and they were suggesting for people to turn in their arms. I'm like, what crazy nonsense is that? If they turn in their arms, how are they going to defend themselves? Turn the arms to who? So what came to mind is, I know that Hope Uzodinma has been working for the North. So is this part of what they told him to do, to come and disarm our people so they can defend themselves? I hope that people are reading, counting their teeth with their tongue. You can't give up your arm at this time. It's free for all. If you have an arm, keep it to protect you and your family, defend you and your family. I don't care who's giving the orders. Has he turned in the armors he has himself? And then the elders are there sitting down, and whoever the stakeholders are. Well, you know what? My thought was, these are the people benefiting from what is going on. They are not fighting for the average Biafrans, the ones that are being killed. And maybe their children haven't been killed too. Maybe their homes need to be raided or something. I'm sorry to say that, but it's getting to that point. You're going to have to decide who you want to be with. If you want to be with them, then go over and be with them. Make it plain. But your actions speak louder than what you're saying. For you to tell people to turn in their arms that they're using to protect themselves, what craziness is that? I didn't get it. Maybe it needs to be explained to me. But that's what where my mind went at that point. Well, with the Nigerian government, they've been terrorists for years. It's just that now we're realizing we have to start saying it so that the people will get it. Buhari has been terrorizing the Igbo since when he took office, 6 years before that even. Giving us the 5%. Even now, we're not even getting, we're getting minus percentage. I don't know what, we're getting nothing. And yet they are killing our people and then lying about it. The Northerners were right. I was reading something they wrote that, and they're saying that Igbos are the problem. Oh my God. What a ludicrous pronunciation that is. You are the terrorists. You allowed your people to come and kill our people. You allowed your people to come destroy the farms and destroy everything we have in our you kill our youths, go to people's houses, fish them out and kill them. And you're saying we're the problem? Thank God for social media, because those facts cannot be hidden anymore. You know? So it's time we stop fighting amongst ourselves and face the common enemy. And you all know who the common enemy is. I don't have to say it. It's time for us to gang together against one bully. And you know the language bullies understand. They slap you once, you slap them 10 times. They don't have any land in Nigeria. They have nothing in Nigeria. They are visitors. It's just that they are taking advantage of our being kind and thoughtful and helpful. And now they're trying to exterminate us so they can take the place over. But that will not happen. Because this is like, for us, is a spiritual war, and God will always take care of his people. So they can plan all they want. They can do whatever they need, they think they are doing. We have an army behind us, which is much better, stronger, and greater than anything the terrorist government of Nigeria can come up with. You know, they have marginalized, they have subjugated, they have plans of any way we try to help our people, they have strangulated it. But we're still surviving because we're survivors. God has given us that right to survive. So what I'm saying is, the bottom line is we all need to unite and fight against the common bully. There is more of us than them. And if we all gang together, we will take care of that bully. You know, there's been a long list of things that went on that at this time, you all know what is going on. So I'm not even going to go there. I'm just saying in general, let us all gang together, stop fighting amongst ourselves, put our heads together and fight the common enemy. And if any of you have anything, any weapon to protect and defend yourself, please keep it. I don't care who's giving the orders. Let the person turn in their armor they have first before they ask you to turn in yours. Anyway, we need to pray. If you can't pray, I mean, everybody can pray. For those of you that can't fight or walk, you can pray wherever you are. You don't need to go to church to pray. You can pray standing up, sitting down, laying down, whatever. Just pray to God. God is there with you. You don't need anybody. You don't need to go through anybody to pray, to talk to God. It's you conversing with God without anybody in between. And that's the prayer. God hears prayers like that when you cry out to him for help in sincerity, in honesty.
Enemies.
You know, there is no intermediary between you and God. If you are an honest person serving God, it's a spiritual thing. And that's what we need to focus on. So let us all do what we need to do to stop fighting amongst ourselves and fight the common enemy. Fight the common bully, the one bully that we're all fighting against. Let's put our heads together and fight against that bully. And like I said before, the bully understands force. They slap you one time, you slap them 10 times. And for them to go from house to house to pull out innocent people, and people are standing around doing nothing about it, it's really sad. So we need to step up our game. We need to step up our game. Okay, thank you all very much. We will all continue to do what we do, continue to pray, continue to, whatever you know you need to do to help Biafra become a sovereign nation, do it. Because God is calling on all of us to do our part. So everyone stay blessed and work hard, and let's get this over with once and for all. Because once we get them out this time, they're not coming back. And that's the goal. So thank you all, and I'll stand by.
Thank you so much, our own wonderful sister and Biafran veteran too. This is fantastic. You know, it's good to always hear your voice. This is Radio Biafra International, and we are encouraging you all to do what you have to. You have heard from the panelists. You know, do not just stand there. That is the problem. Don't stand there. Think. Ideas will come into your mind. You know, let us not just wait for 50,000 to die, 100,000 to die before we start to reason. We know what they've been doing to us since 1945. So, you know, work based on that. Yeah, you say, oh, there are saboteurs. Handle that saboteur, please. Do something to this. But if you listen to those who your enemies, you will die off. It's as simple as that. Because they don't want anything good for you. Yeah. If you listen to people telling you about, oh, this is government, this is government of terrorists. No, you're not obliged to obey government of terrorists. You're not obliged to obey people who are violating your right to self-determination. You know, the right to, no, don't have it, because I'm telling you, if they violate one right, they go to the second, they go to the third. That's how evil happens. If you allow it to start with something, it begins to grow. It's as simple, just like truth too. You do something that is right, it begins to grow, spread around, and people begin to do. So that is the spiritual battle we're in Nigeria. You know that. So, and they will use fear and intimidation. That is the one thing that you're going to fear, because that is their tool. They don't want to sit to, people call Nigeria and say, oh, come to the table, let's talk. What do you think they're going to be doing? They don't even want to hear that, you know, because they know that they don't want to talk. Yeah, because you will face them with that truth, isn't it, on the table, which they don't want to handle. That's why the memorial on Biafra means we don't want to remember Biafra. It's over. You see, anytime you talk to them, so like, see, it's over, forget it. You see that? Why you're committing more? Why should we forget it? But you yourself remember Nigerian soldiers. Why don't you tell you, oh, it's over for Nigerian memorial? It is over. Forget Nigerian soldiers. You see that? So that is the problem. We have to hold on to the truth ourselves and not let go. With that, we are coming to the close of this broadcast. I thank our panelists, and I encourage all Biafrans, begin to do something, begin to organize in the streets, and you have to call that meeting. Don't wait for anybody. Call the meeting, begin to organize on ways, so you can begin to talk about your security as a people. Your security is very important. Organize yourselves. Our town unions are everywhere, should be talking about security right now, everywhere, all across the world, from Japan to Argentina, and everywhere within the contraption that is Nigeria. And like Sister Ozoma said, you know, when you come together and you pray to the God of Israel, trust me, things will begin to happen. It may look like it's not happening, believe him is happening. As long as you've talked to him in spirit and truth, let us eschew sin so that it might be well with us. From me here, Odimo Alon, I thank Oziomema, I thank Mazam Eflokando, I thank Chuksi Kedigwe, and I thank our base, what do I call him again? Communication and information expert, you know, Liu Anemena, who is, without him, this will not be possible at all. I'm bringing the broadcast to you and sharing this huge information. Without him, so many things that BRM is doing, other areas of engagement with our cause for freedom will not be possible. So we thank the name of the Lord. And from me here, Odimoalo, I say, God bless you and goodbye.
Radio Biafra International, empowering the people.
Time waits for no one. Time stops for no one. Your excuses will not slow down time. Your indecisions will not delay time. Your complaining will not stall time. And your regrets will not turn back time. So, don't waste your time in anger, regrets, worries, and hate. Because time will not turn back and cry along with you. It's time to let go of the past and stop worrying about the future. Your only time is now. So make sure you spend your time with the right purpose, with the right deeds, with the right emotions, with the right thoughts, and with the right people. Time flies, that's a fact. But you can always spread your wings and soar with time and navigate life the best that you can. Remember, you will never pass this way again. Make it count. Time. Do what it does. Keep moving. This is Julius. Thanks for listening. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Welcome to Mind.
Radio Biafra is proud to launch its new mobile app. This app makes it easier for listeners to access live and repeat broadcasts at any given time. The app is available on Android and Apple stores and is free to install, so just search for Radio Biafra into all one word to get the app on your device.
Radio Biafra International broadcasts are always anchored on well-researched information and not based on personalities, frivolities, and foul languages. The main objective of Radio Biafra International is to empower Biafrans and give them knowledge through professionally delivered information, education, and enlightenment towards the ultimate goal of restoration of the nation of Biafra.
So don't forget, Radio Biafra into all one word.
And join us during our podcasts and you'll be glad you did.
Together, the more we fight together, then stronger we shall be. The more we fight together, the more we fight together, and stronger we shall be. Rising soul, rising soul, Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Believe it or leave it, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. We've been crying, the world claim not to hear. And we've been lamenting, the world claim not to hear. Our tears flow, the world claim not to see. And our blood flow, the world claim not to see. This is a crime, oh no, against humanity. Oh no, yeah, this is a crime. Eritrea spoke up, they were given independence. South Sudan spoke, they were given independence. Namibia spoke up, they were given independence. Give me the reason my people got to be neglected. Give me the reason my people got to be rejected. Give me the reason our freedom got to be a crime. Give me the reason our own freedom got to be denied. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Believe it or leave it. Oh no. Whoa. That was physical battle, and we're betrayed by the people them trust. Today zeros are fighting. This is a spiritual battle. Let us unite and give Biafra a meaning. If we don't take time, we got to remain in this land. No freedom of speech, no freedom of expression, no freedom of worship, no freedom of religion. Justice denied. Oh, of my own very people. Hey. Justice denied. Hey. On the rising sun. Hey. Justice denied. Oh, my freedom fighter. Yeah. What is so bad? My people wanna be liberated. What is so bad? My people wanna be independent. What is so bad? My people wanna be alone. This is the time we will make it known to the world. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hospitality, positive, education, positive, economic, positive, hospitality. I tell you what, positive. Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Biafra is the only hope of Africans. I tell you what, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. Hey, Biafra is the only hope of Africa. My people will cry. Biafrans will cry. when people are suffering. Oh, Biafrans are
Igbo bi Igbo pụtala o, inezali Igbo anyị apụtala o, itozi ọdịnala Igbo ndị na-eme nke ọjọọ owe dịka ọdịnala Igbo jọrọ njọ, ndị bịara na-aba anyị mebi ife anyị ejidere ha n'ọfọ, a ga-eri mbọmbọ 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 n'ala Igbo a ga-eri mbọmbọ 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 n'ala Igbo ụmụ Igbo ala Igbo onye na-eme nke ọma jide nke iji mata eje, onye na-eme nke ọjọọ wepụ aka enwe n'ofe, igbu mmadụ ife ala Igbo sọrọ nsọ, iwere ihe mmadụ ibe gị ụkwụ ife ala Igbo sọrọ nsọ, arụkwụsị 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 n'ala Igbo, arụkwụsị 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 n'ala Igbo ụmụ Igbo ala Igbo
Radio Biafra International, empowering the people.
Biafra, the land of the rising suns. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị echeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri, maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogu ka anyị ji aga, ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị bụ mmeri. Enye Igbo enye Igbo anyị were ofe obi o, I got to financial Igbo. Chukwu okike kere eluigwe n'ụwa, nna bịa n'ụlọ olu n'o. Anyị enweghị Chukwu ọzọ ewezụga gị chịkwa ụzọ ndị agha. Anyị ebughị ihe anya kọtọ gị, ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị n'aka ndị nwere obi ọjọọ, n'aka ndị ama n'oke ọchịchọ. Ọsọkwa aka egburu egbe na mma, o nweghị ya ga-emume Chukwu, ọ bụzi mmadụ ole kunu ga-egbunu. Ihe anyị ma bụ oji ọfọ gala, onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa ndị Igbo, alili gerishi ya o. Onye si n'ọgaga dị ndụ hụkwa Biafra, ili gerishi ya o. Anyị bụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe anyị chọrọ bụ nwere onwe anyị. Anyị echeghị mmadụ ọbụla ụgwọ, onye biri ka ibe ya biri, maka ebe bere ugo bere n'o, ọ bụkwa ọfọ n'ogu ka anyị ji aga, ka anyị gbawa mbọ anya dara mba, anyị jisike anyị bụ mmeri. Enye Igbo enye Igbo I will off of you, I got to financial.
Biafra, a home that is built on a solid rock that can never be rooted out by the enemy's cause storm. Papa land, we are longing to see you. Land of the rising sun, we love you. Soldier go, soldier come, soldier go, soldier come, soldier go, soldier come, soldier go, soldier come. Barracks remain city, Biafra is mine. Hey, oh, you, mama. Biafra is mine. Gold can never decay. Ay, ay, ay. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Barracks remain city. Biafra is mine. Hey, oh, yo, mama. Biafra is mine. Won't grant pay Biafra. je te salue. Je te, papa, je te. Soldier go, soldier come, my brother. The forest can never go. Oh, no matter the storm of life, it may take you many years to regain all your losses. But come rain, come shine, your victory is sure. Do not look at the height of your problem, brother, but look at the ability of the divine grace of God. As long as man is alive, there are laws of hope. Soldier go, soldier come. Barras can never go. Only Boogie Gigi Traja, MSA Logi Pume. Oh, the land of the rising sun, hoping to see you one day. Oh, the land of the rising sun, hoping to see you one day. Biafra, my fatherland, I will kiss you one day. My papa land, I love you. I love you. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Yeah, soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier go. Barracks remain CB. Biafra is mine. Yeah, mama. Biafra is mine. North, east, west, and south, and middle belt. Next, they said Nigeria. But since some were born to rule and others were born to suffer, but since some were born to be great and others to be slaves, marginalization takes the center stage. Order of the day, Biafra must emerge. I say Biafra must surface. It is our home. The struggle for sovereignty must intensify. Dead or alive, mission must be achieved. Say dead or alive, mission must be accomplished. Oh, the blessed land of the rising sun, Biafra. Oh, Biafra. Oh. Let the heroes never relent. Let our heroes never relent. For we are close, very close to the promised land. Never be downcasted. Our leaders rise up, rise. For the promised land is near. Our promised land is near. Soldier go, soldier come. We are in our place. Wherever we are here, it's our heritage, mama. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Barracks remain CB. Biafra is mine. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier yeah. Barracks remain CB. Biafra is mine. Yo, mama. Biafra is mine. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Soldier go, soldier come. Barracks remain CB. Biafra is mine. Yeah, oh, you mama. Biafra is mine. Oh, yo, mama. Biafra is mine. Ulingo muzima na tingale. Biafra is mine.
It's Moko.
Mr. Pro, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra, my motherland. Biafra, my fatherland. Biafra. Yeah, the son of a lion is now eating grass instead of sucking blood. Oh yeah, remember I was acting in my homeland, but right now I am a slave. I am a servant in a foreign land. I wanna go back home and sit upon my throne. I wanna restore my dignity. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra. My motherland. Biafra. My fatherland. Biafra. Our house has been on fire. That's why we run helter skelter on our land. We are vampires, and that is why we flee and scatter. We are gone, but not forever. But very soon we shall gather. Repatriation, repatriation away. I wanna go back home and sit upon my throne. I wanna restore my dignity. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra. My motherland. Biafra. My fatherland. Biafra. Back home we see incarceration, we see subjugation, economic strangulation, marginalization. We also see Islamic invasion. They come with oppression, killing and naming us. They do that with impunity and aggression. We need emancipation from this British oppression. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra. My motherland. Biafra. My fatherland. Biafra. Modern day slavery, political asylum, so many years on exile. It's time to gain our freedom. I'm tired of washing toilets. I'm tired of playing in the street. I'm tired of the street life. I'm tired of working in plantation. I wanna go back home and sit upon my throne. I wanna restore my dignity. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. United Nations. I'm going home. Chukwuagama. I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra. My motherland. Biafra. My fatherland. United Nations, I'm going home. Chukwuagama, I'm going home. I'm going back to Biafra. Going back to Biafra.
On the mix.
Radio Biafra is proud to launch its new mobile app. This app makes it easier for listeners to access live and repeat broadcasts at any given time. The app is available on Android and Apple stores and is free to install, so just search for Radio Biafra into all one word to get the app on your device.
Radio Biafra International broadcasts are always anchored on well-researched information and not based on personalities, frivolities, and foul languages. The main objective of Radio Biafra International is to empower Biafrans and give them knowledge through professionally delivered information, education, and enlightenment towards the ultimate goal of restoration of the nation of Biafra.
So don't forget, Radio Biafra into all one word.
And join us during our podcasts, and you'll be glad you did.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people, you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception, it is a prevailing attitude.
Radio Biafra International, empowering the people.